couple sound drops for you. Here's the first one.
Fuck you.
It's some old boat captain, old as shit. This one's with Bobby Martinez. A fan asked where they get all their big dick energy from when they fish. And
We measure fish, not dicks.
Easy.
so it's a ton of funny shit. Let's go around and check the table real quick.
Check.
Check. Make sure you lean in on that when you talk.
Check.
So you can,
I can adjust this
yeah,
for myself.
And put Just make sure you get perfect.
That's
you
it
know,
right there. Huh?
This guy's ready to drop a couple bars over here and shit.
You already know, Ski, baby. I'm here, baby. You know, try to turn all the way up one time.
And if you want more headphone volume, let me know. You good?
I'm pretty loud.
Okay.
Good.
Just make sure you get up on that. These ones take fucking.
I'm
see
pretty
how
loud.
There you go.
Yeah,
You're doing it.
You got to kiss it.
And this guy already knows. He's a pro.
There you go. Get that stash on.
I'm going to call this my first kayak roundtable. How about that?
There you
NorCal.
go.
NorCal kayak roundtable, because all these guys fish kayak. All you guys do kayak tournaments as well, right?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. We'll start with Greg's a returning guest. Thank you for coming back on again, Greg.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Another great dude, big YouTuber, influencer.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
And I heard this guy across from me crushes beers. Crusher of beers.
Crusher
I'm pretty
of
good at
beers.
crushing
I think
beers.
that's his
I suck at
Instagram.
fishing.
Crush.
How do you say your last name? Is it Ensign or Ensign?
Ensign, yep,
Ensign?
like the Navy.
Okay.
I
And
don't
then
know why I said
Obedie
that.
Williams.
Hey, how we doing out there, everybody? Yeeta D. You know, Ski.
How was fishing today, guys?
Fun as hell.
It was fun.
Yeah.
They biting today. I think anybody who's out there in the Delta today, you catching some fish.
Yep.
It's crazy that isn't there 2 tournaments running tomorrow?
I think it's
one.
3. I think 2 major, but they got a couple of club tournaments as well.
It's wild that you guys have this much water and this many anglers to do something like that. Like we're down south, it's
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got to
you
wait
don't get
in line.
you don't get that.
I was telling Bam that today when we was coming in. I said, man, how blessed are we to be able to live so close to one of the best fisheries on earth that holds this many fish and so vast where you can be anywhere and the scenery is beautiful.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Oh man, I love that I'm right here on the Delta. Like
The scenery is beautiful, but it could be a little bit cleaner. Saw a lot of trash in the water today.
I saw
Don't
that
respect
too.
that.
Yeah, I think we might need to get
More
somebody out there
face
to clean
punches.
that up. But you know,
Well, you.
I wish the seals ate the trash.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
And the other thing too is you guys have a I would tell my wife, she's like, if you could move, would you move up here? I'm like, I think I could. I love fishing calico, but I like being next to the ocean.
Yeah.
If I'm not next to the ocean, I don't mind this because there's a lot of water to discover new things on. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Totally.
So I think like I could move up here or anywhere there's a big river like Havasu or something like that as well
Yeah.
too.
Up here, you're close, dude. Ocean's like 40 minutes, 45,
Really?
I think.
My wife always say, "You'll never leave California, would you?" I'm like, negative. I would.
I
Never
used to
leave.
say I would, but no way in hell.
No way.
We got it all. Why
Yeah,
would you leave?
Why would you leave?
That's the same. Well, I love calico and they're only in SoCal, so I can't
Yeah.
go anywhere else.
So you're not leaving.
And Mexico,
so
and I
you're
ain't
not-
fucking moving to Mexico. So.
Dude, you can move to TJ, hella cheap rent, it'd be tight.
Right? You guys got to go kayak fish down there.
We want to.
Dude, they have the Cabria.
Yeah, I don't deal with that
Korea.
salt though.
on.
It's like a
Yeah, I can't do it.
it's like in between a calico and a yellowtail. They fight like you got to use still leaders, but you're throwing like jerk baits and stuff like that for them.
Dude, I'll tell you, the times I've been in the ocean, it's like just a different world.
You do it up here though, don't you?
I've done it a couple times. We go
Down
for-
south, it's way calmer than
Is it?
up here. It's
Okay.
fucking
Yeah, my stomach don't agree with
Yeah.
the salt. It's
yeah,
just
but we've
I
gone
throw
for,
up and boo boo on myself every time.
We've gone for lingcod, and I mean, it's just crazy. You're looking at your graph, and it's like 100 foot deep or whatever, and you're just dropping
Yeah.
a big jig down there, and it's like, oh my God, that's a big fish.
Dude, those fish eat or they don't. That's just how it is.
I think you guys would do really well kayak fishing down there because like Jack and Tommy and Caesar and all these guys, they come down and we fish spotted bay bass. So our spotted bay bass is like it was like a smallmouth, and a calico
okay.
would be like a largemouth.
All right.
They fight fucking hard, and we have a sand bass too that's deeper.
Yeah.
But they got it right off the bat. Started throwing Kitex, started
Right.
throwing underspins, and they started
Oh,
smashing
nice.
them
Do you guys fish, like my buddy lives in San Diego and he says he pitches pilings.
all day long. Yeah, pitch pilings. It's a lot like this riprap. We have a federal break wall that's like 8 miles long called the wall in Long Beach.
Yeah.
And I fish that a lot at night. So it bites.
At
and,
night?
Yeah. And we're doing the same thing you guys are. Tide, moon. We got tides.
There's sharks out there too, though, right?
Yeah, you're not. I have a 16.5-foot boat. I mean,
No.
Oh, okay.
saw
I'm talking
there's
about kayak.
sharks.
no, dudes,
Big
kayak
sharks.
like
At night, not with the sharks.
No, they don't fuck with you. I'm worried more about seals and them shark.
How many chocolate guys be out there?
Hey,
I'll be out there sweating, dripping that chocolate.
The darkest
in the
of the
water.
dark horse.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? All I said, they be like, look at that chocolate bar, dude. Where Oski
Snickers
went?
gone.
He gone.
But I mean, I think you guys should, if you ever can make a trip.
That'll be
there,
sick though. We go out there, bring the horsemen, go out there and have a trip.
Well, I think there's gonna be another kayak tournament. So if you guys want to come down, like, I'll fucking sponsor you guys in the tournament.
All right.
Like, I'll pay your entry fee, like,
I'll come
and you
down
guys
there
can
and win
fish
it.
under cast and crank.
Come on
Sweet.
now.
Yeah, there we go.
We'll bring all the Sierra Nevadas you
We'll
can
go
do.
down- we'll
Well,
come down there and
that's
win
the
it.
deal.
Yep. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's gallop
I'm
down
down.
there, horseman.
All right.
So I guess let's start a little bit with Obedie, since you haven't been on the podcast. This is your first time around. Kind of give
Yeah.
everyone a backstory.
Yeah, we supposed to have hooked up a while ago,
Yeah.
but
Got busy.
Got busy, but we here, Ski. I'm a California resident, the California Delta, the ambassador of the Delta. Ski, your favorite fisherman's favorite fisherman. I'm here in the flesh, the people's champion, Mr. Perfect Cast, all the above. That's
Mr.
really-
Perfect Cast. I think I like that.
You
name
like
the
that?
best.
Yeah, Mr. Perfect Cast. I never made a bad cast.
I did see a backlash this morning.
I see backlashes all the time when I'm around them.
but did you see the cast where it landed? See,
Yeah, on the deck of the
I
kayak.
actually was making a cast further. My reel said, hold on, Mr. Perfect Cast. The fish is right here. I'm not paying attention. Real backlash so it can land perfectly
That's a
where
real
the fish
fish-
was.
that's a
See, if
real
you kept
fisherman.
looking, you would have saw me catch a fish and reel in and then catch the fish and then I'll take the backlash out later.
That's true.
It's all little tricks of the trade. Ski. Like, your boy, I'm from East Oakland, born and raised, been out living on Discovery Bay for like the last 20 years. I do boat tournaments. I started off catfish, crappie, stripers. Got into bass fishing with Mark Daniels, Jamon Andrews, put me in the game. Start fishing a club, Bank, Bass Anglers of Northern California. Stepped my game up from there. Did very well on the boat side. Got hooked up to the kayaks. Start fishing the kayaks. And now I'm probably one of the few guys that do the boats, tournaments, and the kayaks. So I bridged them together. I guess I say I'm the guy that bridged the gap, and what's so cool is like I know everybody on the boat side. So when I go to the tournament, hey, Obedie, we hang out, we have a good time. But then I know everybody on the kayaks, and they're two different groups. There's not like the same group, So I get the double the love, and I always try to tell people, if you got a kayak, man, get a boat, come over here. Hey, you got a boat, hey, get a kayak, come over there. So I'm just steady trying to keep bridging that gap because I feel like you need to have both. If you can. If you can do both, get you a boat, get in those tournaments, get you a kayak, get in those tournaments. And, I said, California, we got some of the best fisheries. The people who fish them, so much love. Like I said, I just, GB, Greg got me back on my YouTube. I was one of the first guys to have the fishing YouTube out there.
When did you start that?
When did YouTube come out? 2006, I want to say.
No way.
Yep, I was one of the first.
When did you stop?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'll probably say like 2008, maybe somewhere in there. I just died off. What happened was exactly. That's why I know. Knowing what I know now,
that's a
like,
gold mine right there. You just
exactly.
I
Which was
remember seeing.
Too bad his reel wasn't
in
like his
college.
boat.
Yeah,
Because you missed it.
Dude.
yeah. That's
I
what it
remember
was.
seeing Rippin Lips on YouTube back in like 2008.
Oh, yeah, the crappie
2009.
videos?
Yep,
They were
Rippin'
sick.
Lips. I was doing that heavy, but then when I met Mark and Jamon, it was like, oh, we want to be with Rippin' Lips. I'm like, cool. And I'm starting to get views and people starting to recognize me. But then I start getting into bass fishing tournaments. And then when I showed up to the tournaments and Mark and Jamon doing the team tournaments and they would win these tournaments, they would come back and the respect they got from all the other Delta sticks and, the upper echelon of the guys who fish the Delta, I was like, you know what? I want that more than the fame.
YouTube.
Yeah, because the YouTube guys like, oh man, I saw your video, man, I love it. And then when they saw Mark and them, it was like, oh my gosh, here come you. Hey, you guys crush. You guys, man. And I'm like, man, I would love to just come back and crush in one of these tournaments. And so then I kind of like, you know what? I can't do both. I need to really learn this bass game. I said I didn't want to do YouTube videos, bass fishing, and I didn't know what I was talking about. I said I really want to be into it. So
because you didn't really bass fish before that, you were just doing the crappie and the catfish. Okay.
Exactly. So then I said, let me learn. Let me get my respect in this bass fishing game, and then we'll see. But then I just like after that, I was like, I'm cool with the YouTube. I'll just do the tournaments, and now Instagram and Facebook and everything is popping off. So I was like, I'll just do that.
Yeah.
But then when I hooked up with Mike and Greg, And then it was funny because I didn't even, I never really watched YouTube after that. I was kind of just into it. And Mike was like, well, Greg does this YouTube, and he's like one of the biggest dudes out there in the YouTube. So I'm like, man, it's crazy how all of us just hooked up like that. And then me and Greg hanging out more. Then Greg was like, you got to bring that channel back.
So when did you start doing the channel again? Like recently?
Recently, a couple of months ago. Like I'll say like a year ago, Greg been on me. But I was bullshitting.
Well, dude, I'll tell you what. Every time I did a video with Owen, like the comments would go crazy, and people would just be like, "Oh, more videos with Obedie." I'm like, dude, he's got a channel. Like, he's got an Instagram. Like, if you want more of him, I mean, like, I love having him on my channel, but he's got his own thing too. Like, so I said,
I heard him, and I remember hearing you on Outdoors Unfiltered, and I was like, this guy's fucking crazy. I like him.
Yeah.
And Jake told me, he's like, dude, you got to get him on, and that's why I kind of was like, shit. And yeah, I feel like his personality is kind of different than a lot of fishermen.
Thank you. Yeah.
You don't meet it's weird when you meet dudes you click with or dudes that are kind of fuck around. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are serious. And I know it's different up here. I always say, and don't get mad at me, SoCal, a lot of guys are fucking assholes down there when you go to lakes. Up here, it seems like everyone's pretty cool.
well, because your lakes are like ponds, and there's like 1,000 people every weekend.
I will say,
So I can see where the anger
personality in the world is Obie. You could be having the shittiest day ever, shaking a single. Come on, bite it. Obie rides by. Hey, Mike. Yeah, I'm out. I'm good.
Yeah. I was all about having a good time, and I love that, I'm bringing that to the game. That, hey, man, we all competitive. We all love to fish, but you're fishing against the fish. I got nothing to do with that. We can always, after the words, have a good time and laugh and crack jokes. And, and I love that about the whole game. But I knew at the same time, I knew when I was bringing the jokes and laughing and everything, I knew I was like, I can't suck though. Because then people was like, see, that's why you don't laugh and joke at tournaments.
Loud ass
right,
fucking,
exactly. That's why you don't do that. Because you see he's getting his ass kicked every tournament. So, but then when it was like, no, this guy does good and he's having a good time. So then they let a guy know, like, it can be done.
It's cool that you step back from the YouTube to like it takes a lot to check yourself, I think, with anyone.
Yeah, definitely.
So to check yourself and go, look, I don't want to look like an asshole on YouTube and not know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And that's why when people talk, they go, well, what do you fish? I'm like, I don't talk about what I fish because it's about you guys, and I don't want to sound like a dickhead. If it is something wrong, only thing I talk about is surf fishing. Is what I did for a long time, and calico fishing.
Yeah.
Largemouth, fucking, I know how to drop shot and shit, and I don't have the time to. It's a lot of a grind to throw swim bait.
Yeah.
Dude.
And then having kids, I have 3 boys. It's like fucking.
I do too.
I don't
I have 4 boys.
So swim bait fishing's like, if it's the right condition, someone points you in the right direction.
Yeah.
Okay, like I go with Danny or Caesar. They go, hey, throw it here. I know they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about it. Or I go with other guys. If I'm going on my own, it's like fucking grinding all day. I don't know if I'm doing it right, if I'm in right conditions.
Yeah.
Some of these swim bait guys, that's all they fucking throw, and I just can't do it. I'm ADD as fuck, so I'm
the
like,
same way.
I want to get bit. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
I'll
me
like
too.
throw it for a minute. I'll be like, fuck it, drop shot.
Every time.
I love
Every
watching
time
it. Like,
with the swimmers.
it's addictive. You're like, oh, it's gonna get crushed.
Man, they look so beautiful.
Whoa,
I'm
you
gonna
got
throw a
intense
single
there,
there.
Mike.
Yeah.
I know. I'm looking at you. I'm like, what do you do next?
Yeah. I think it's tough for a guy.
It's very addictive.
Yeah, especially if you don't throw it and you get to it and you got tournament day and they be like, hey, they're biting the swimmer or the wake bait or whatever. And then you're like, oh, I got one of those. That's not what you do.
No, on tournament day.
On tournament day, you gonna make like 4 or 5 casts with that and be like, oh, they're not biting it. What else I got here? Let me get a couple bites.
And there's a couple tournament guys where I've talked, like Phil Dutra.
Yeah.
He fucking knows.
Oh yeah.
Like he knows. I talk to him, and I'll talk to him even just here and there, like ask how he's doing, because he's like the first tournament guy I had him, so I follow him a lot and make sure, like, man, it's cool to see
That's my guy.
him going good. And I mean, even Matty Wong, he came on before it all happened, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah, that was a dope one.
And it was like, so, but it's cool to
see.
see Phil put the pieces together. And I'm gonna say, as a tournament angler, he's probably one of the guys that can throw the big bait during a tournament. And
He's gonna be at one of these years. He's gonna be the top fisherman. I believe.
agree.
That guy, he called me the other day. It was funny. We was talking, and he was like, he had that last tournament, and I think on day 1 or whatever, he had 1 fish. And if anybody who know Phil Dutra, he probably went crazy after that. He said, man, I'm coming back to the weigh-in, and I have 1 fish. And he said, I didn't want to talk to nobody. I'm like, dusted and disgusted. Like, I don't know what happened. and all these people are in front of me, you know, waiting to see you, and the kids and everybody to just greet you when you come. And he said, I just thought about you, knowing that would say, man, put a smile on. You know, look where you at. Look what you achieved. Look what you doing. And he said, instantly, I just started laughing, put a smile on, and went out there.
But I think that's something both you guys have to do. You just have that mentality. YouTube, you can't like go, fuck this, I'm done. You know, like
Totally.
right.
Yeah, totally.
You got to like keep it positive, and you got to have a positive mentality.
Yeah, well, you're making a video. You're making, it's production. I mean, and it's real too. I try to, if I do have emotions during any tournament or whatever, I try to, keep it real. Like if I'm upset or if I'm mad, I lose a fish. I think it shows. But yeah, dude. Like even for me, like learning from is just that positive mentality in fishing is like huge, especially because I think at least for us, dude, like fishing is our life. Like that's what we love. That's like our passion. Like it's like even this morning, we all went fishing this morning in the kayaks. We did like a little derby. Getting on the water, that feeling, that I don't even know how to describe that feeling. It's the best.
I woke up hungover and I'm like, I don't want to go fishing. I got on the boat. I'm like, well, it's fun.
Yeah. I think that's so funny too, because I'll be like that. I'll get up sometimes. It's so early. And I'm like, oh my God, do I really want to go fishing? I'm so tired. I was so nestled in the bed. But then as soon as I get on that water,
dude,
the smile comes up. I get excited, like, oh my gosh.
Every time you get on the water, you think you're going to catch a big one. No matter who you are.
Yep.
Like,
you better
dude,
think like that.
I feel like today's the day. I think I'm going to do it,
There's so
I
much
And
think
it's
like that
usually
every
the
time I have
shittiest
to.
day. At the end, you'll be like, fuck. And then, oh, fuck. Here comes a 5. Here
True.
comes a 6. You're like, fuck yeah.
Something to change it.
Somebody told me that. They said when you go out there, when you make your first cast, you're so excited. They said in tournament fishing, your first cast, how excited you was, has to equal your last cast. And that's
that's hard.
That's rough.
You know what I'm saying? If you
Hard
can
is
make your
hard,
first
and then-
cast equal your last cast,
That's-
you won't. That's
And the other
magic.
thing is when people say time on the water, I always go, well, I'm going to say focus time on the water because there's been times where I'm not doing shit and I'm just going through the motions. I'm probably missing fish because I'm not paying attention. I'm just
I'm the
thinking of
same
something
way.
else, getting pissed off, grabbing a beer, whatever the fuck it might be. You aren't paying attention. Applied time on the water is a different story where I go, okay. And dudes like Phil, I feel like his time is applied on the water. Me, I like fucking around too much, so it's like,
Me too, dude.
yeah.
You work full time. You're like, that's your time to chill.
Yeah, you talk
Yeah.
to Filthy like, man, you like in school out there, man.
Yeah.
I'm out here with my feet kicked up. I'm walking on my back. He started telling me, what the moon phases and how the rock traction and the deers is walking like this and the antelope play. I said, listen, man, I'm just out here to have a good time
Wait,
fishing.
the antelope.
Hey, Philly
Is he
started
fishing
telling
in Nevada?
But I say that's where I think the levels of the game is, because I feel like, I'm a good fisherman, but I run across certain guys that when you hear them talk about fishing, it's on another level. I tell you, Bam is like that.
Yeah.
It makes
Yep.
you feel like you don't know what you're doing. So,
Yeah.
like you go, man, I don't even think like that. Like when I'm going out, and I'm like,
Right,
fuck.
exactly. I don't even think like that.
Yeah.
You came up with all that for this little spot. I was just casting around hoping I get duped.
Even like when I had Phil, we keep talking about him. He was talking about shit. It made me completely rethink everything. He's like, oh, I go through every hook. I check it. I'm like, fucking dude.
Yeah.
I just throw whatever's
My
on
man-
and fucking
my
go.
I've
man-
had the same
My
hooks
man
on
has-
baits for like 10 years.
He
Granted,
has
they're all good
notes.
hooks, but
Phil has notes since he was like 6 years old. And every day he went fishing. How crazy is that to go back 20 years and be like, so
crazy.
what today, 20 years ago, what was I doing? And I said, wow, man, that's another
Dedication.
level. But hey, exactly. I said, but it's still fishing at the end of the day. And the fish is down there not counting like, oh, look, he's got the perfect mathematicals. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah.
Listen here, they know when you're a dork sometimes. those
Yeah.
fish.
Sometimes I feel like my
I'm
positivity
gonna bite
is
that
just
Cinco.
as equal to that. If I feel like my positivity will go through my arm to the rod, to the reel, to the line, and while I'm down, the fish can feel it. I mean, who can say otherwise? But
that
I
must be
feel
why
like
I
it's,
don't get
But
bit.
Yeah,
you,
see?
but you gotta like having that attitude all the time is like another tool.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you guys have another tool. So the you guys throw some of the crank downs and big baits right from the kayak. How much harder is that since you're on a kayak throwing it?
Fucking so hard.
Oh my god.
Mike throws them a lot. Actually,
Yeah.
Mike won
Do
a
you?
tournament on what was it? The whippersnapper?
Yep.
Yeah, and it was.
When was that?
It was a crazy. You should tell the story
I think
because
it was a year ago. Yeah.
Yeah, talk about it.
So
Well, let's talk about you two.
all right.
Give us your background since we kind of Obedie. Let's do yours.
I'm just a dude from the mountains.
Oh, Mountain Dude.
Oh, stop being so fucking
Mountain
humble.
Mike.
I grew up in the East Bay. I moved to Tahoe in like 92, 93. Been there ever since. Don't really like going around the city or nothing anymore. So I just live up in the woods and.
So you drive down here to fish a lot, the Delta.
Not a lot. I only generally 90% of the time I fish on tournament days or the day before.
Yeah.
So I
You'll
don't
come
get
down just for those 2 days pre-fish.
Yep. Otherwise, I'm dicking around for trout or whatever close to home.
Kokanee.
I
Do you
love
guys
it.
have kokanee
Dude, I
up
eat
there?
them right on the kayak. I'll
Really?
bite. Oh yeah, I'll eat them right there. Squeeze the eggs out. They're delicious.
Savage.
Yeah.
They're legit. The ones in Lake Tahoe are the best.
How do you catch those fucking things?
I use this. It's a secret bait. I can't tell you. About It's called Al Wilson. So it's a triple big giant. It looks like a rooster tail,
Okay. A big.
but there's 3.
Okay.
I cut them off and just use one and do an 18-inch leader to like a wedding ring or a wiggle. What's that called? A wiggle hoochie.
Okay.
Whoa.
Oh, what
You
was
gotta wiggle that hoochie. Smokes them, but they're so good. Just catch a limit, eat them. Do the kids love them?
Wiggle hoochie to eat them. Okay.
Come on, wiggle hoochie. We make Coke cakes out of them. Sounds like I'm selling
would you
drugs.
call 'em?
Coke cakes.
Coke cake.
It's like a crab cake, but
Yeah.
booger sugar?
sugar boogers. You gotta make a living somehow. COVID
Mike
and all
throwing
ain't
all
working.
kind of terms out here on it. I love it.
What was that tournament? Then talk of that. Break that tournament down that you won.
That tournament was McClure, which
In
is
the
a
summer.
down by
July.
Fresno. I don't even know where it is, honestly.
Yeah, it's like
I just showed up there, went.
100 plus degrees.
Yeah, it was
How many
super-
people? Or how many kayaks?
Probably 100. I don't know, somewhere. in there.
Shit.
We're always around like 100.
We're right around
Yeah.
100 every time.
Give or take.
Do you
10.
fish? You fish the ABA then, the kayak series?
We did
I
the
won
ABA,
it. I
yeah.
didn't
This
do
year, are you doing it?
They came up to the Delta. I did it. I think.
Did you do the Clear Lake one?
I will do that one.
Wait, who? My friend, you might know who he is. He's a big kayak fisherman down there. Brian Lipke.
Yeah, he
He
came
took
up
second,
to the
right?
Delta.
I think, or
He
something.
did good. Yeah. Yep.
I used to play in hardcore bands, and he's in a really big band called Bleeding Through.
Okay.
He's a guitar player, so that's how I knew him
Gotcha.
before fishing.
Sick.
So, and I'm like, shit, he's a stick. I didn't know he was fishing so hard.
Hey,
Or I have
you play
another buddy
music and fish?
back east, Adam Reiser.
Yeah.
And he's another. We were in a band together before fishing.
That's a small.
So like
world.
we're
That's crazy.
Our
Isn't
bass brains. You ever heard of bass brains? He makes a glide. He was in a band called Throwdown, and I played with him too. So like
Weird.
we're all.
What you play?
I played drums, guitar, and bass.
Okay.
So my oldest son's like a drumline prodigy. He's like super good. He's on the Yamaha website. My middle son he plays, but now he's all into basketball. I don't know anything about it, and I just got into it. And
Kids flip-flop that
I guess I
quick.
like the Golden State Warriors like him, so I don't fucking know.
Latrell Sprewell.
And I'm like, dude, I was like, all right. And it's cool to see, your kids get into something. I don't push fishing I push music on my oldest and it worked, but it's a fight. So it's cool to see, stuff like that with the kids. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy, small world. There's a lot of kayak guys though that from down there. I know, what's his name? Bass Thumbs.
Yeah, Shane.
He's
Yep,
cool. He's
yep.
another guy from down my way.
Yeah, I mean, you guys got a great scene down there.
Yeah.
It's
Getting bigger, but I think you guys have the big, the Delta holds the big tournaments.
It's more populated up here, right?
It's-
Well, I don't know about that. More opportunities.
There's
I
a lot of
suppose,
people
lakes,
fishing in kayaks.
East Coast, or back east has some big tournaments too.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah. I mean, Southeast is gonna.
Yeah.
They're gonna be the staple for.
You did that series, didn't you? Fish over there?
I did because I traveled for work for a while. I don't want to. I know we're on mic, but yeah, I
We're
traveled.
ADDing. This is
yeah.
how my
I got
podcast
ADD
works.
too. What'd you say?
I start talking and I go, okay, what about this one? Okay, what about
Look at that waking frame.
Exactly. See, this is the shit
Yeah.
I do. This is what people
Well,
know.
I mean, I think it's no secret. Everybody knows that, the big clubs, big trails are all Southeast.
Yeah.
Uh,
I kind of, the more I've been doing this podcast, you notice more things. And I see the kayak thing, kind of getting a little bigger here and in SoCal, which is cool. And it's a whole different aspect of fishing. Exactly. So after we finish the story, I want to have a question about boats to kayaks. But finish. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Mike,
Cutting you off
tournament.
for the fifth time.
Am I still here?
Yeah.
So it was Lake McClure.
Get up on that fucking mic.
I gotta get on this mic. Lay you down, baby. So it was Lake McClure, somewhere down by Merced or Fresno or something. I don't know.
Central Valley.
Not where I live. And we went pre-fishing, and it was like everyone's drop shotting, drop shotting. We went drop shotting, and I was like, man, I hate drop shotting all the time, but it seems to be something that catches fish all the time. So you gotta do it. Anyways, I was throwing a toxic whippersnapper and bone color by these big rocks up a river. And I'll never forget the feeling. I was like ripping it, burning it, killing it, not wake baiting it, just like a crankbait.
Yeah, yeah.
And these giant spots were coming out of these rocks that you wouldn't even think a fish could get in there. There were cracks that were like, I'm using my hands, but they're like 2-inch cracks in the rock.
And they're hitting it. They're hiding.
No, they were coming out, going ape shit on this thing like a cat, running around a cat with a toy. And I'm like, this is weird. We go on fish all day, drop shot, catch a bunch of rats. That night we got back to camp and I'm like, dude, you got to throw that thing all day. Don't be a dumbass. Drop shot, and how many fish did we catch this big?
Yeah, I was drop
25.
Everybody.
And this is on inches. Everything's on inches, right?
Inches, yeah. So I was like, fuck it. I'm going in the morning. I'm going to throw this thing all day with the top water. I'm a top water fanatic.
Okay.
I'll throw it all day. Even if I don't get bit, don't care. I like to watch them eat it. So I'm like, fuck it. Throw it out. First cast, nothing. First cast, nothing. Throw a rover, get like a 2-pounder. Rest of the day through that toxic bait. And I was like, burning it as fast as you can. I didn't have the right rod, nothing. I had a frog rod with, I think I was fishing straight braid.
Okay.
And I was cranking it down to where I could hit the rocks. When I hit the rocks, I'd pause it. Boom, 4-pounder smoking. I'm like, oh my God, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So this went on all day. Like I was coaling all day without putting my fish in. And I'm like, all right, it was sick. I thought everyone else was crushing it because there's sticks at fish kayaks. The thing with kayak fishing is everyone thinks, oh, boaters are way better. They focus more, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of dudes in kayaks that are crazy good at fishing, especially in that area. So I was like, I'm going to throw this big bait all day. Fuck it. Kept throwing. End of the day, roll up to him, and he's like, did you catch him? I'm like, no. Did you catch him? He's like, yeah, I got whatever. I'm like, oh, fuck, I got like at least 10 inches more than that. So I was like, all right.
Literally, huh?
Oh, not literally. Back to the old.
It's very blessed.
I'm a blessed individual. Not so much. Don't ask Autumn my wife. She will definitely say no. That is a lie. And
Your wife's gonna be listening, going,
yeah, she's like, that's a fucking lie.
Holding back.
You always
She's
have to
like,
wear, always has to wear pants.
Wear small pants.
I think you might have to hit that button on that one.
Yep.
We measure fish, not dicks.
So end of the day, rolled up, saw Greg. He's like, dude, I think you're gonna be doing good. And I'm like, I doubt it, because I fish a lot of tournaments. I never win. I'll always be. I'm what's it called?
Consecutive.
Not
Consistent.
You're a gatekeeper.
Consistent.
Consistent.
Yeah, I'm
You're a
consistent.
gatekeeper, right?
That's it. I'm a gatekeeper. And then we rolled up to this other dude, Damien, that fishes the tournaments, and he's like, "Oh, Mike, how'd you do?" I'm like, "Oh, I got blah blah blah." He's like, "You won," and I'm like, "What?" He's like, "You won. What were you throwing?" I'm like, "Oh, this swim bait."
you told him.
Yeah, and
Why
he's
did you
like,
tell anyone?
I didn't know it was gonna. I didn't think I was gonna win. I was having hella fun. I don't give a shit. I don't fish these to win. I'm just there to have fun.
This is your me time, kind of
Yeah.
away from the family.
And Mike don't
Exactly.
look at the scoreboard neither.
No, I don't look at that shit. And then people roll up and
There's a score. You can check everyone's numbers.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
you see.
They
I think
turn
it
it
fucks
off,
people.
He was
though.
leading a tournament in Shasta, and I rolled up on him. And then Mike was just all nonchalant, like, "Hey, yo, how'd it go today?" And I was like, "Oh man, I did okay." He was like, "Yeah, I did okay." I was like, "What are you talking about? You're leading a tournament."
They
was
will.
like,
They will.
"Am I?"
They will turn it off though. Like
It's
if
a 2-dayer, though.
If it
You
ends
can't
at,
win
like,
it on the first
2:30,
day.
Went on the first day.
They'll turn it off.
You
at
can
like
get
1:30.
6th or 7th on the second though. So yeah, and then
I like they turn it off the hour.
Yeah, they turn it off
like
so you
that.
can't.
I don't watch it.
But
My-
and also you don't have to like as soon as you like take a picture, you don't have to like put it on the leaderboard. You can.
I wish they did that though.
You can
I do it because
Yeah,
I'll fuck it up, dude.
Sandbag.
Yeah,
Sandbag.
That's what Greg did.
Hey,
He does.
Does he like
Let me
sandbagging?
tell
Oh,
you
yeah,
for
he's the
guys
best
who,
sandbagger ever.
who follow the rules and just put the fish up soon as they catch
Listen.
them, right? You go
Me.
through the whole day and be like, man, I'm in the top 5. I might got a chance to win it. Then the board goes off for the last hour. Then you catch one more good one. Then you like, I might have won it. And then you get back and all the guys who posted it later, you're like, how did I end up in 17th place?
listen. I don't sandbag. I really don't. Well, it appears
does.
it appears I do, but I'm gonna tell you,
Negatory.
I don't do it because I don't want to waste time like clicking around my phone. I want to fish. Like
That makes sense.
Why would I waste time?
And it's a tool. It's playing that game.
It makes sense.
right?
If I catch
Yeah.
15 fish all day and I upload all 15, think about and I keep calling. How much time did I waste
15
doing that on my phone versus fishing?
That's
15 minutes.
I mean, that's true. I definitely I understand that.
I think
It's-
they might think it's closed or something.
It's just you know,
I mean,
I do it immediately, dude. 'cause
yeah. To me,
I
feel
got
like
ADD. I'll be
to
like,
me, like
oh,
once I catch the fish,
not gonna keep track.
it doesn't even count until I put it up on there. Because I feel like
But-
I'll lose my phone.
but it's like-
I'm known for shenanigans.
But it's like when you have your bag of fish when you're on the boat. Same thing. You're not putting those up until you go up.
yeah.
So that's the same. You know, I could see you saying I'm holding my it's my live well and my phone, all those pictures.
The other thing too is you have to realize this: if it's like say you're on them, catch a giant bag or best five. There's 3 other people around
people
you.
follow
fucked.
you.
They know who you are,
Yep.
and then they might pay a little more attention to you.
Greg dropping gems on
It's
y'all
true.
right now. You know,
I'm
Steve?
just telling you.
It's the truth.
That's
It's the
right.
truth.
100%.
That makes
I've seen
sense.
it
So
happen.
why wouldn't you just wait till the end of the day where you just take your 5 photos, your 5 best fish, upload 'em?
Now, do you leave them in your photos or do you leave them in the live well on the?
I've done
app?
both. I've done both.
Okay.
You can do both, but for me, dude, like I don't see any advantage of uploading your photos early and letting everybody know what you got.
It does. You make complete sense now. That I think.
All right.
Dude, the advantage
Look at
is
that. All you guys are going to be like,
And
all
now-
right, all right.
Now, hey, see, now what's about to happen is we're gonna do the next tournament, and nobody's gonna have no
Yep.
fish. One guy gonna catch one fish and be like, "I'm leading it, babe." Call his wife, "I'm leading it all
Life
day. It's 2
crush
o'clock. One more
dreams.
hour." And then he
Yeah.
take second to last place once everybody upload
Yep.
their fish.
Dude, I can't
It's
do
going
it.
to, right? I mean, it's,
I can't keep track.
Yeah. So, do you do
I
like you
lost
take the
one
fish
time, I
and do you
lost, like,
take
a
a
good one.
picture of
Meaning I
because
had it
you're
in my
separated?
because I had it in my phone
See?
and I waited all day and I was like, hit the 5M and I was like, cool. Tournament's over. I put in like a 17. I had like a 18 3/4. When I got
Yeah.
home the next day, I'm like, holy shit. That would.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, but 1 3/4 in a
Fucking-
kayak tournament can put you in
oh,
the
it's a
money.
lot.
And you usually
Or
only
in
have
life.
like an hour, right, to upload those pictures and get back to the ramp.
Yep.
So you gotta be multitasking with uploading it, knowing, looking at the inches, putting the correct inches, and getting yourself back to the ramp on time. It's a lot.
It's a clusterfuck.
You know what? Since I've been doing the kayak, it's like, oh my goodness, like I caught the fish. Ain't that just good enough?
Nope.
Do
You
you
know,
have pedal
like-
drive? Or do you have guys have trolling motors?
We have both.
We have both.
We're cheaters now.
How about that little jet thing that goes on the fucking back? You have one of those?
He used to have one.
You don't like it?
Oh, the Bixby.
Yeah.
I had one a while
It's
ago.
hella slow. You don't want it.
It's not that fast.
It's a cool ass invention, I'll tell you that, but it's not
I
conducive
mean,
for
there are
tournament
things
fishing.
that are faster now.
Oh, do you have one of those?
Yeah, we've got Newport vessels on our. It's a motor.
Yeah,
How
I love
fast
that
is
motor.
that bit? You can't. Now, is there a speed limit on these things?
There's not a
Not
speed
yet.
limit, but there is a thrust limit / horsepower.
Yeah.
That's
there?
what I was going to say because
didn't know that.
you could hot rod these fucking things, right?
Oh, you could.
Oh, in a minute.
You
we're-
could, you know
in
what
a
I'm saying?
minute,
Like,
we're gonna be on
biggest-
pad on kayaks in a
Yep.
minute.
Oh, I guarantee because they're probably going 6 miles an hour with that fucking thing.
No, you're going like 4.7.
Or yeah.
But you could, depending on your kayak too. If you have like a
Right.
skinnier like
Ocean
narrow
kayak,
kayak, you can jam.
Listen,
Like,
I remember when we was at the Shasta tournament and
You see motherfuckers
they
driving
said,
fucking
yeah, they
make
said it was a
wake
shot.
next
Whoa.
to it.
They said go. Some guys were so far ahead, and I'm like, how? It's like Fast and the Furious. Like they got like nitrous under their seat when nobody ain't around. They turn the
Go
nitrous.
gadget
Which
legs.
is so easy to do. Instead of 24 volt,
Yeah.
we make it 36. Give it 12. We might burn that out a little quicker, but
They
is,
like
okay.
whoa.
It is getting crazy. Like I will say, I mean, it's hard to say because everything evolves. Like with fishing, especially. I mean, you guys seen it with bass boats, the live scope, all that stuff. But like,
that's the same
but
exact
dude,
argument. Yeah.
kayaks. I don't know when it'll stop. And
It's
I
not gonna stop.
And I
Do
don't
people
even,
have live scope on the fucking kayak?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, totally.
Dude, half of the field has it.
In a minute, the kayak boat's gonna be going so fast through the 5 miles. Guys in their yachts gonna be like, slow down, no wake.
Didn't you read the sign?
Yeah, I'm not complaining about it, but it's just
No,
like it's
I'm
like
not. Hey, it's a game trick because it's so funny. When I first got in the game, I was like, man, people were kind of experimenting with the motors, and then Mike was like, "Nah, we don't do that shit. That's for cheaters." You know what?
Is that
So,
how you felt in the beginning? It was for
Yeah.
cheaters?
That's how it's
100%.
like.
You
You
Everyone
still feel
felt
like
like
it's
that.
for cheaters?
I'm a cheater now.
well, here's
Oh,
he
yeah,
has a
no.
motor.
Because what happened was once it got adapted, and you still was like on the fence, like, "Nah, I'm not doing that shit." When
Because
guys start beating you to the spot,
Dude, it
now you're like
sucks.
you're at a disadvantage, and
Yep.
that's what it becomes. Like you have to get it. It's
So
not.
this is
a
where
if, you have
this is
to.
the hard part is when dudes are like, how much of the field of the live scope people are winning?
a pretty good amount.
Like, is it like 70% of them have live scope and they're winning?
You know, I don't
I'm
know.
not gonna say
I
that.
don't know exactly who has live scope. I know
There's a
some
couple of
the-
live scope guys, but
I will tell you,
you still,
I know
you
two
still,
that are
I feel like
constantly in the
if you
top
still,
five.
if you still doing the live scope out there, yes, you will catch fish, but you still competing with the guys who beating the bank for them good fish that's along the bank as well. You know, I mean, I would get live scope. I wouldn't be against it
Because
for
I
sure.
feel like if you're in a kayak, there's two options. Like, you might go deep as well, right?
Right.
Like
Yep.
some of these guys are deep fishermen, I'm sure.
We all do, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's all
Northern
they
California, we go from fish 60 foot to 0 foot.
Yep.
do. Yeah.
I don't think it hurts. Like if you have live
wouldn't
scope, it's
Do you got any of you guys have it or no?
No.
no.
But we
too
also
much
didn't
money,
have
yeah.
motors.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, everyone has motors now.
Yeah.
though.
We all got Newports.
Wait till the next
yeah.
episode when we're on this
Yep.
podcast.
Yeah,
We
so I
floating
turned
in this bitch.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
It was
in
weird.
the air,
I turned
dude.
my
You got
kayak into a
Right, flying
jet boat.
saucers. Yeah.
I got a 350 Chevy Chrome Magnum Duster with original rims. She only takes NOS.
Man, you
But
really are old, huh?
Yeah.
This is
Look at
crazy.
all this shit. You make me feel like I'm in high school again.
But I mean, it's crazy. Like, when is it going to be enough for fishing all the way around? You know, like because now it's like the next thing is how can we catch fish more easier.
It's the truth, but there's something said of like, dudes. I bring this up all the time because it's the only guy I know is Matty Wong. He won that first Bass Nation with no electronics.
That's
At
it.
TNT, it's like, fuck. Now he's got it, but do you think that what it's going to do to the new age of fishermen is you're going to lose all that feeling?
I agree.
You're going to
Yeah.
lose all the like,
Yeah.
hey, you
Yep.
don't feel the rocks like you would, because you're
Yeah.
looking on the fucking screen and going, oh, they're right there. Hold on.
Yeah. I got live scope on my boat, and one thing I tell you about it, one thing I tell you what it does. Usually, when you don't have it, you're fishing. You might look down at your fish finder or whatnot, but the most time you're looking around and taking in the sights and you're fishing and everything. When you have live scope, you're just lasered on to the screen the whole day. You're just looking at the screen.
How hard is it to read it though? Like I heard it's not easy to fuck with this thing either.
No, listen. You pan that thing over to the right, and you see them fish over there. You cast your lure to it, and you bringing it back. You see them fish following it.
No way.
Yes, to the T, and you can make adjustments as you bringing it back. Let me pop it. Let me see how they react to it. You know, and it's a game changer. Like,
How many live scope fish have you? A lot now. Have you gotten it down to where like?
well, see, with me, I'm a Delta guy, so I'm always on the Delta, always on the Delta, always Delta. So then when I go out to fish these lakes, it's not like I'm out there practicing for days and then I do the tournament. Usually it's one day and then I'm doing the tournament. So it's like I'm practicing out there and then I'm like, nah, I'm not doing it. But I have noticed where I'm going down the bank and I'm throwing and I'll pan off to the right just to see, because now that I have it, and I'll pan off and be like, ooh, look at that over there. Make a cast, catch the fish that I normally wouldn't have caught if it wasn't for the live scope. You know,
I think it's a tool, man. Like I think the
Yeah.
best people or the best anglers will be the ones that recognize when it's necessary to like actually use it. You know, like anything else. Like
Yeah.
when you realize it's appropriate and then you maximize your time with it. Like I don't know, Delta is different. I'm not.
I believe the Delta. I believe the Delta is different, but I'm pretty sure
I
there's
think it's
guys
so
that
different
use
with the
it.
tides. Is like a big
Yeah.
factor.
But
you
I
know?
think if you are a master of that live scope, you're a
Yeah.
problem.
Oh, yeah.
Every tournament,
Yep.
every tournament, you're a problem. It's just like if you're the only one with the motor. If you're the only
too.
one, if you're the only one with the motor,
Make it
then
three, Tommy.
that's just way more spots that you can get to, you know, versus
I
the
agree.
guy who can't, you know. So it's
Hey, but I'm sure there's gonna, like you said, they're gonna put a fucking rule on it or something. They're gonna have to.
It's all tools in the toolbox.
Yeah.
A Senko is an
So like, do
7/16.
you have a shorter rod choice because you're on the kayak? You know what I'm saying?
I fish sevens generally.
I'll take a course. You want another course?
yes, sir.
Here.
Thank you.
Wait, sir.
One more course. Thank you.
Thanks, Tommy.
Rods, I don't really. If
You know what I'm
anything-
saying? Because like some like swim
No,
bait
for
rods
sure.
are long. It's like hard to hold that.
If I'm throwing a spook out there, I can't have the long rod. Yeah, certain thing or a jerk bait. You know, you gotta
Shorter rod, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think, but you'll know.
Do you guys stand in your kayak?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh God, you guys are probably fell out of. Everyone's probably
No, and that's the biggest thing.
No one's down the kayak.
Listen,
No.
I've fallen out.
a lot of people think
The
that
smallest dude
you know,
here.
I told
I
him,
fell out of my
I
kayak.
was the same way. I thought that all the kayaks were just the fun kayaks you get out there, and if you try to stand, it's like all wobbly. Like, no, you don't stand in no kayak. And I told him, get yourself on a fishing kayak.
Yeah, it's a
It'll
whole
change your. Like I
different
said,
world.
if you haven't been on one or seen, or if you haven't been on one, then you can't.
They're sturdy
You
as
can't.
fuck.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't
If I
speak
can crush
on it
beers
until
out there all day, throwing top waters,
Yeah.
you can definitely stand all day.
And 20-mile-an-hour wind. Might be out there in 30-mile-an-hour wind standing up, crushing brewskis.
Yep.
Hey,
And-
how
and
fucked
not a
can
drop
you
of water
get on
get
that
on?
wind sometimes getting back?
Dude,
my goodness.
it's
Been some
sketchy.
sketchy times.
Like how many hours will add to the trip sometimes?
Fuck.
Oh,
A lot.
Have you gotten caught like where you're like, I'm fucked?
He has.
Me
I
and
don't
Greg
give up.
got caught. We had to call for
Quitters.
I've caught.
No way.
Yeah.
What happened?
We were on the Delta. I think we launched out of we launched out of Tracy Oasis, and we went all the way down the river. And then with the tide and the wind, we just like literally couldn't get back. It was white.
You weren't even moving. Pretty much. It's just
Well,
Dude,
even
that is-
plus like the fact that we'd probably flip. Like,
Yeah.
Did you guys really put in the factor that you just bitched out?
Maybe a little bit.
Come on, you know I wouldn't do that.
Have you ever quit?
But from our eyes,
I don't quit.
It looked
That's
looked
one
like
thing I do
it
not
just
do is
wasn't
flip
safe.
or quit.
It wasn't worth it. That's what
Well,
I was
it's
saying.
always
just-
worth
wasn't
it.
wor-
the other thing too
Wasn't
is
worth
at
it,
this time they put like there was like that barrier thing.
Yeah,
So
The
there was like,
salmon
yeah.
thing.
So there's
Yeah,
like
and
this
the-
like rapid.
Yeah,
we have
that
to go down
curve
like
was
a rapid.
pushing.
That's where kayaks came from,
No, we
dude.
called the owner
Not
of
our
Tracy
kayaks.
Oasis. I had to pull my ambassador of the Delta card. Beep
yeah.
boop bop beep boop bop beep. Yeah, you're going to come get your boy. Me and
I'm
G
quitting.
Weezy. Yeah,
I'm
that's
quitting.
it. That's it. Take me back to my truck.
Shit's weak.
It ain't worth it. I got to get to the
Yeah.
house.
Oh, at the hookup, we got to ride back.
Yeah, it all worked
that's
out.
scary, dude. That's what would scare me. That's the ocean though. Like
Dude,
you gotta
that's what
think
you
of-
gotta think. The ocean the whole time.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking
Yeah.
of wind. And I seen on lakes, dude. I've been on lakes with my wife. We were on by our house. It's called Silverwood Lake, and in the afternoon it'll blow right down the middle of this. Like it's not a big lake, but it blows right down the middle, and there's like 4-foot swells.
If
you gotta-
you're down Paris. You've been to Paris?
Yeah.
So the only time I've actually like flipped my kayak was at Paris.
It gets windy.
Got real windy. Those what are they, Santa Ana winds or something like that.
We had
Offshore.
a friend die in a kayak there.
So,
You probably saw
I'm gonna
that.
tell you what. I was there in 2000. I think it was 2016 for work. I was in Palm Springs, and Palm Springs, like that's kind of like isolated. You only can fish like golf course if you have the connection.
Yes.
Or you go and fish the Colorado River, like 2 hours to your east, or you come and fish Paris.
Did you fish
and-
Colorado River?
I did. It was great.
It's good, right?
Yeah, it was great. But
Yeah.
my other option was, other than the golf courses, which I did fish, was Paris, Vicente, all that stuff. And Paris was the one I picked. And the wind forecast that day, I think I saw like 15, 20. But when I got there, it was bad. And then the gusts were bad. And I was like, man, I just made a 2-hour drive. I'm still launching. I'm fishing. And
Did you get him or no?
hell, I
You got skunked?
I got skunked and I flipped my boat. So it got so sketchy. It got so sketchy.
Did you do a whole yard sale? Like everything was.
I lost a lot, man. I lost.
I'm guessing it was like
rods.
17 spinning rods.
Right.
No.
Does he love spinning rods?
A lot of drop shot
Really?
weights.
used
Phil.
to.
Or is he a finesse
A lot
guy?
of drop
Big
shot
finesse
weights
guy?
filled
He
in the
was
water that
all
day.
about it.
No,
Finesse.
it was actually no.
You guys are such fucking
drop
assholes.
shot on the Delta.
I do remember if you want a real list, I do remember it was like 2 G Loomis rods.
Oh my
that
God,
went off
dude.
with like Corrados. 2 GoPros dumped. Phone was toast. I think I lost.
So this was pre, like you could get the iPhone wet. You couldn't get it.
Yeah, it was bad. So I flipped, and man, the wind was so bad, and there was only one other boat on the lake at the time. It was like a nitro, and I didn't know what to do. The crazy thing was, this was I think February, and the water was like 48 degrees.
Oh,
And
man.
yeah, so I flipped, and I'm honestly naive at this point. I just figure, oh, it's water, it's 48, it's fine. It's not ice, it's not New York. I'll be good. After like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, like my body started to like tense
Cramp
up.
up, yeah.
Cramp up, and like I got slow, and the wind was just blowing me towards the dam, and I'm like, oh fuck, I don't know what to do. Like I had a whistle in my life jacket. Thank God I was wearing my life jacket. I mean, I always do. And I just started blowing the whistle, and luckily that nitro boat heard me and came over and rescued me. And
Wow.
No way. Do you know the guy's name?
I don't.
That sucks.
And
I need
they-
a
It's probably
whistle.
somebody I fucking know.
They-
or,
It was
just-
Nitro Dan.
Nitro Dan.
No,
Hey,
they-
I don't have a whistle. I need to get a
Oh, you
whistle.
Or you need a horn,
You gotta
right?
have
Like
a
the
whistle, man.
I don't have none of
Gotta
that.
get low.
that's-
All I got is, hey, come help me.
Dude, I'm telling you
That's all I
what,
got.
that whistle
Hey,
saved my life.
I ain't got a
man.
measuring board. I just caught one. Someone come help me out.
Right here.
Hey,
Take time out of your day
has
to
that
help me.
happened before? Probably, huh?
All the
I
time.
dropped my
Really?
measuring board today. First, I left it I left the measuring board at the house rushing. So then I text on the group text. I said, hey, I forgot my measuring board. Greg said I got a backup.
Give him a little
I'm like,
context. We had a derby this morning.
yeah, we had a derby this morning.
Mike,
What was first?
Obedie,
What was
myself.
the?
Bam.
And bam.
And
Yeah,
what
bam.
the places? We can see this on. It can be on YouTube.
It was
Yeah.
It was the trophy that Mike made that we've been using for how many years?
Oh, you guys been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
And this is the day that you're gonna.
We have this like.
So the
little
last
group.
one was like 2 years ago, right before the pandemic.
And who won?
I did.
Oh,
Cheater.
It was at Folsom. I won that one. So I've been holding on to the trophy for 2 years.
I love.
Not
Folsom,
called
dude. That's a
holding
great
on to
lake,
it. It's
too.
called stealing it.
No, it's called the pandemic. Told me to hold on to it.
Nah, pandemic stealing.
So I held on to it, and then I posted a picture on the group text like I found the trophy. Like I was in the garage. Said,
Found
trophy
it.
back.
He's been talking to it every night. I guarantee it.
No, it's been next to my on my nightstand.
I was like,
He's
oh,
like,
that's
good
where
night,
the trophy
baby.
went.
Yeah, let's bring
Oh,
the
good
trophy
night.
back.
Oh, I was talking to the trophy.
Yeah. So I brought the trophy out. We brought the derby back. So it was myself, Mike, Greg, and Bam.
Yep.
We all got out there. I forgot my measuring board. Greg said he had the backup. Because, you know, Greg always keep the backup to the backup. He's like, if you follow Greg, you know, he keep a checklist. You know. So usually I say,
Good,
Greg,
dude.
keep a checklist for your boy. Just bring 2 of each. So I got out there.
extra
So then
wrap.
Greg was like, and then I get out there. I'm like, oh, man, I don't have nothing to drink. Anybody got a water? Greg had backup water. So I had water and board. So then I get out
It's
there.
like this every fucking camping trip.
As soon as we
Every
get on the
camping
water,
trip tournament.
we were like little kids. They were like, hee, hee, hee. We were all happy and everything.
were.
So I grabbed the measuring board. I put it off to the side. And I said, oh, let me tie up this one real fast before we get to the spot. So I'm tying it up. Next thing you know, measuring board fall in the water. I didn't even know. And then the motor hits it. Boom, boom. And I said, man, I just hit a log. And I said, oh, okay, we'll keep going. And then Mike and Bale saying, hey, Obedie, was that your measuring board? And I look, and there was no measuring board there.
Dude, those things aren't cheap.
And I said, no.
That was
like,
a
how
one
am I
of
gonna
a
be back in the
kind.
game? So I'm looking like, what can I use? And then Greg was like, I got an idea. We pulled off into the Tules. We ripped the Thule off an old dead one. Greg took a marker and then marked it up.
Great idea.
And then that's how we did it. You know,
You don't have them built into the fucking kayak? No one has that?
Nah, dude.
Or you
Because
can
there's been
get-
people cheating and shit.
Oh,
So they
shit.
changed the
Oh, I
fucking
heard
boards.
about some shit.
yeah, with the plastic
How people
board,
do
right?
it,
They-
they're
Pushing
like,
them down and holding them.
dude.
It's
Yeah,
cheating.
that's
Cheaters.
crazy. But hey, you know
They
what,
were getting
though?
caught,
Dude,
though. These dudes
but-
Well, I don't know how long that shit
I-
went on before they got
Yeah,
caught.
but I appreciate the plastic board because at least they would have floated.
Nah.
I would have
Those
hit a
plastic
U-turn.
boards sucked.
I mean, not for guys who drop their boards in the water. Now you got this big old rock that I got to carry around.
It's an anchor, dude.
That's what I'm saying. Listen,
What is
when
the
I don't-
board you have to use now?
The
what?
brand is called.
It's catch
Catchboard, right?
But this
and the
was
thing
a
weighs like
special
100
catchboard.
pounds, though. It weighs 100
this
pounds.
was a-
Listen, my kayak when I don't have it on there, I'm going like 4.4.
Did you see what was on that catchboard before you dropped it?
Yeah, I know that
What'd
was
it
the
say?
one. That was the
Said Sierra Nevada
Yeah.
engraved with Gray Blanchard's name.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
shit.
yeah, he let me borrow that one. So now
you
they're-
lost it?
Now Olo owes him
there's
$1 million bucks.
No, well, there's a fish down there using it.
Oh, God.
Yep.
Yeah,
He lays on it. He's
There's
dead
about it's
now.
probably
They're
like
modeling on
yeah.
that
There's like striper bass and bass up there seeing how tall they are. Come and see how tall you are. It's
Dude,
like
I'm
at the fair.
12 and a half
They
inches.
got it at the fair down in the Delta. Like, come see how tall you are. Let me guess your height. You know,
Man,
it's a Greg Blanchard measuring board.
It happened. It happened.
I said, sorry, Greg, man. I'll get you another one.
He's like, no, you can't.
Greg is the nicest guy. You know,
They got us
I love my guys, man. Like I said, how we all met, man, was just it was magical. It was like one of those meant to be type of scenarios. You know,
How did you guys meet? Tell a story.
so I end up when I got into kayak fishing. Somebody let me borrow a kayak. Oh, Holly. Sorry, I don't even want to mess that up. Holly let me borrow a kayak.
Holly Bombach.
Yeah, let me borrow her kayak. I went out to Comanche fish and everything. I said, oh, this is cool. First time on a kayak. And that's when I realized, like, man, these fishing kayaks is different. So then I go, they said, man, they have tournaments and everything. You should fish some of the tournaments. So I'm like, oh, cool. So the next tournament, it was the Obedie Open up at Shasta. So all I had was yellow Costco kayak. And I'm like, oh, man, I don't want to go up there with this kayak. Like, I'm just fresh to the game. Like, a couple of weeks prior, Mike, I didn't even know Mike. He hits me and was like, hey, I want to buy some of your Rippin lip hats for me and my boys. So I'm like, all right, cool. So he buy the hats. I give him the hat. He hits me. He was like, man, you going to fish that Shasta tournament. I got an extra kayak for you. And I'm like, oh, yeah, appreciate it. He said, man, just meet me at the marina and I'll give it to you. So I get up there the day before, get with Mike. He gave me the kayak. My buddy Kenny Casateri, who stayed over in Cottonwood, let me stay in his house. So I stayed at his house. I just came up on the fly.
Yeah.
Get up, fish the tournament, Mike was leading the day one. I end up winning the tournament on day two. And it was funny was I didn't know because they cut because the first day I'm doing the tournament, I'm looking at the scoreboard all day.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, I'm sitting in fifth. I call the wife like, I'm sitting in fifth. It's 100
So you knew that.
Yeah.
You knew that
and
shit.
then I start going to 8th, 10th, 15th, 17th. I was like, oh my gosh. The wife was like, don't even look at it tomorrow.
Yep,
so
right.
the
She
next day,
knows.
I didn't look at it, right? I end up catching a good fish and 2 solid fish at the end of the day. So now I'm like, oh, I want to see what place I'm in. I got to see this at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I look, they shut it off. So I was like, damn. So I'm like, all right, cool. When I get back to the weigh-in, people who saw it gonna be like, man, Obie, you're up there, you know? So I'm waiting for somebody to say what I said to Mike, like, man, you're leading it. Everybody walked past me. Nobody said nothing to me. I said,
No one knew who he was.
yeah. So I was like, well, I guess I got my ass kicked in this tournament. So I'm sitting next to Mike. We just shooting the shits. He's like, hey, this is Alden. That's where I'm at. Oh, shout out to Aldi. That's my guy right there. And he was like, man, we got the dark horse. So I'm like, shit, I'm rolling with y'all, you know? So we sitting there. Mike, I don't what place you end up in 5th, 6th or something like that,
Something,
4th?
yeah.
He was up there. So then Mike comes back with his award. And then I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the inches. And I'm like, and I'm doing the math in my head like, I have more than that. So I tap Mike. I say, hey, I have more than that. Mike go, hey, y'all, Obedie won. I was like, I didn't say that. I just said I have more than you, Mike. That's all.
He did.
They go 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and we're all like,
Hey, how
what the
excited
heck?
were you?
That's, out of
This
all
was your
the
first tournament?
This was like my 2nd kayak tournament.
Shit, dude, that's wild.
The Hobie, it was
So
Hobie
now they're going
Worlds.
to, so they're going to
Oh,
3rd.
this was a big tournament,
Yeah.
too.
He got to go to the Hobie Worlds,
Big
which was
one.
in like Australia or
Yeah,
something.
Australia.
Really?
Yeah, the biggest tournament I guess they have, period. So now they go on to 2nd. And now I'm like, you can win a brand new kayak or you can take the trip. Mind you, I have no kayak. So I tap Mike, I say, should I take the kayak or the trip? Mike say, oh, you can always buy a kayak. You can't never get the trip. So I said, oh, for sure. I win it, I go up there, I'm taking the trip. After that, me, Mike, and Aldi, we hanging out and everything. And then he tell me like, oh, you got to meet Greg. Greg didn't get to make it. I think you were out of town or something for that one.
Yep.
I was working actually.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So he was like, you got to meet Greg. You know, we with the dark horse. I say, oh, for sure. So after that, we get to the next tournament. Then I meet Greg, and then I'm like, shoot, like, all right, this is
What's
cool.
the, what's the dark horse?
It's just our kayak gang.
Oh, gang.
Gang, gang.
Yeah, year of the horse, baby. Every year is the
It's
year of
just
the horse.
some funny ass
It's
shit.
just
like-
you guys hang out and it's like who you.
It's just
it's
a
our
yeah,
clique.
Yeah.
me and
Our
Greg
squad.
and Alden.
Oh, there's
were the
gangs.
first
There's
ones.
kayak
like-
gangs
it
now.
was
Okay, I
random.
see.
Yeah, well, you got to bring knives.
Yeah, it's-
Dude, I'll tell you, it was random. I mean, like
was
when
random.
when I first came back, I actually came here for work for about 2 months back in like 2016, 2017, something like that, and then I went jammed out. But I came back because I liked the Delta, and I got in the tournament circuit. And the first one we did was Comanche, and that was where I met Mike.
Yep.
We were about to blast off, and Mike said, "What's up?" Blah blah blah, and
He's like, where are you from? I'm like, oh, land of the snow. Land of the snow.
But then you like hit me up. Mike hit me up later, like I think a month later for the next tournament. He's like, "Hey, you want to go pre-fish big break together or something like that?"
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm busy, man.
I was like, I wasn't trying to take you dancing, fool.
I think I was actually busy though. And then I ended up being able to go. And
One of
then
the tackle tour guys. I'm
we,
sorry, I'm fucking.
Oh, it's freaking Xander. That's
Sorry.
who.
Yeah, and then we met up, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to say that we hit it off.
We hit it off. We're in a relationship.
Love was
I-
like
I- I
my
was
wife
hesitant.
and my
He
3
really
kids.
meant he really meant that.
I was
We hit it
hesitant.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
hesitant. I was like, "Who's this random guy?" Like, I don't know.
off. My wife, dude, told me the same shit because she goes, I'm coming up here and it's with a buddy of mine that I know, Jonathan, and another guy. And there's another guy that he's doing this. It's called Swimbait Alliance. He does these videos. He did one on Piz. The guy's gonna come on the podcast, so I hope he doesn't care I mentioned this, but he was a Jackass, the film guy on the first 2 Jackasses.
Oh, sick.
But he's a big swim bait guy. So he's making these cool videos. He's like, hey, let's go to if you want to go to Arizona, I'll go with you. We could share, everything. I'm like, cool, because I like doing this traveling thing. I'm like, find
Right.
someone else to do it. My wife's like, you're just gonna go with a random guy? I'm like, I've met him before. She's like, but how do you? I'm like, what is he gonna do? Fucking rape me? Like, dude, like really rocks? Like what? She's like, it's just weird. I'm like, it used to be weird, but I don't think it is anymore because everybody gets along with. It's like fishing's a kind of a.
You have no idea how much shit.
How many random guys you bring home?
No, just, well, yeah, that too.
Your
but
wife must tell you that.
My wife's like, dude, you and your Greg and Alden and Obedie. What are you guys doing at these tournaments? Just kidding. But she's like always giving me shit, dude. She's like one of the dudes. She just fucking clowns
But
me
it
constantly.
worked out.
And
though.
the kids do it too.
Yeah, his oldest boy thinks we're all like losers.
Yeah.
which is probably.
He's like,
probably
you guys
true.
really on YouTube fishing? Fucking dorks.
How old's your kid?
18. Don't ask me that
probably got a
question.
boy.
Damn it. I have 3. I
what
have
are their
freedom,
ages?
justice, and independence. It's let's see, 14, 18, and 10.
I got 4, 12, and 17. I'm gonna be 18.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, you guys could like have a family
We're
together.
between the 3 of us.
Yeah,
Oh,
mine
gosh, dude.
25,
There's a lot of kids between
14,
them.
Hella old.
6, and 4.
Same,
Oh
same.
my God.
So was one of them trying to be a girl or a boy?
Nah, they
Is it boys and girls?
they're all boys.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I have all boys.
Me too.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Oh
all
my!
boys.
So much testosterone.
the Mexican
at
genes,
this
dude.
table.
Oh,
My wife's
goodness.
Mexican and I'm half Mexican. It's just you have to have boys or you get kicked out.
My wife's I call her the Viking because she's Norwegian. Well, her grandma's from Norway, so that's why I call her the Viking. And she lays the law down during anytime.
She's like, you will not have a girl ever.
No, she wanted a girl. That was what the 4-year-old was supposed to
Oh,
be.
what?
Yeah.
When we went to do the ultrasound, she started crying because it's so polite. I'm like, oh, thank God, it's a fucking.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I could deal with these 3 dicks. I don't need to deal with all of them.
Yeah.
I'll take the 3 at the house.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a lot.
Do they fish, your kids?
No.
Mine
They
do.
used to. They started off fishing, but once they got up in age and the girls and video games and their friends and all that, I gotta like, man, come on out with me. I'll come out. And then they want to sit there and have an hour lunch and eat candy and be on YouTube. So
Justice will, if we're going striper fishing, my oldest kid, Justice, he'll go for sure. The other 2 boys, Freedom and Indy, they're all about it. Bluegill,
bathroom?
trout, they don't care. They'll go.
But anyway,
cool.
we were saying. So yeah, we met that way.
Oh, yeah.
We're
We're back.
Yeah.
We're ADD is really.
Yeah.
bouncing
Well, I'm just
good.
saying-
This-
trying-
hey, you just bring 2 ADDs together. That's the problem.
That's AADD.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's how we met. We like hit it off a big break, and then we had a Clear Lake tournament like the following month. We're like, yeah, I'm gonna camp. Are you gonna camp?
Were you living up here at this time? Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I was here for work, and then just kind of like, he's cool. So let's go camping with him, and then we met Alden. Alden's our other buddy in the Dark Horse division, and
The original 3.
It was basically the thing was
It was a joke.
Well, no. It was like me and you meeting for the second time, Alden and myself meeting for the second time. I think that's the first time you and Alden had met.
Yeah.
And we stayed in the
Parking lot.
of what's that, Canocti Vista
Canocti
Casino,
Vista, yeah.
and we all had randomly brought beer.
Thank you.
And we're like, oh, you brought beer? Oh, you brought beer? Oh, we all brought beer.
I didn't know these dudes. I'm like a skater.
So like
Punk rocker. I'm like,
essentially
I don't know
we
what these guys
we
do.
stayed in
He
the
was
park.
a skater boy.
Yeah, we essentially just stayed in the parking lot and got fucking wasted. And then we're like,
Before the tournament.
oh yeah, the night before.
Well, that's
Dude,
the deal
how
about
do you
the.
guys fish?
And- but
Do you
but
want to
that-
go into this rabbit
that
hole?
was the
Once he's
connection.
done, I'm
That
gonna
was the
go.
connection. That was like, oh, dude, everyone likes like getting fucking hammered. So like, that's
man.
great.
You know,
So-
I'm so
See.
proud of you that you have this sponsor. It makes me so happy. I love when people get beer sponsors.
Oh,
It's the best.
I'm still trying. I had a little one, like a brewery that was local, but the problem is they'd give me the fucking big growlers,
oh,
and they'd give me like 12 of them, and then I'd hand them off. And we get fucked up real quick because you're drinking like
Well, yeah,
an
you're like
IPA. It's like
64 ounce.
so. I'm like,
You're
I
like
need
a
a
pirate.
I need like a drinking beer, like a Coors or
Coors Light.
Yeah.
something like that. Because dude, we have like
Something
Ballast
light.
Point. We'll bring the stuff in because there's a Ballast Point
Right.
fishing game.
yeah.
And we get trashed. Well, I did it at the owners. So we went and did the owners, and we couldn't release the podcast. We got so fucked up.
Really? That
Yeah.
bad?
Very
You
bad.
can overdo it so fast
Like
on these
super
tournaments.
bad.
It
man.
happens.
Yeah.
It happens, man. If you're not wise,
Hold up, we're getting to there. So
Yeah.
the way that whole deal worked out, the Dark Horse division is like me or Greg, Alden, and I hit it off. We're like, oh, we fish these tournaments. We're super into kayak fishing. And then we're just like, oh, we party hard, drink beers, and try to go crush fish and beat everyone. That's our goal.
Yeah.
And then as time goes on, I meet Obedie. I'm like, dude, he's got to be in the Dark Horse.
Well,
And
we
I met him
all
in Comanche.
knew who O was.
Yeah.
Like we knew that.
But we
O-
met him one day at Comanche, and he's like, "What's up, man?" And I was
Yeah.
like, "Hey, dude, I bought some shit off you." He's like, "Right on, dude." And he's crushing beers. I'm like, "Yeah, O's in," and that was it. So then, like, bam, we have like, I think over the years,
I
like,
was
How many
number,
people
I was
are-
the fourth
I think
horseman.
maybe total.
There's a
Man.
bunch of. there's a
It's
bunch of
everyone's
people.
So
life.
how
Yeah.
long? When did? So there's a dark horse tackle, right?
There's Dark Horse.
'Cause that's why I saw the shirt. I'm
There's a
like,
couple. There's a couple.
There's Dark Horse swim or A rigs in San Diego.
There is?
Dark Horse Baits. Yeah, that's
Oh,
my buddy.
shit.
That's actually where I stole the name from.
Is it part of the dark
No,
horse?
because my buddy Max down in San Diego is like, "Hey, dude,
Dude, check out the logo though. Isn't it like?
Where's the fucking beer at?
Checkmate.
and a G.
Where's the beer?
You said what?
There should be a beer on
Me
that.
and Greg's.
No,
me, Greg,
this
and
is
all
like
the
Hey,
this is the OG
I never
logo.
noticed that.
This is the OG logo.
Damn.
It's Mike, Greg, and Aldi in the.
Well, you know,
name
and
of the
then
horse.
I'm the O.
It's right
There
there.
you
So,
I'm the, I'm
He's
the,
the famous guy, right?
That was the
so
entire.
my buddy Max down south, he makes A rigs, and he was like, "Dude, I want to start this A rig."
Max.
Bauer, and he's like, "Man, I want to start this A rig company. If I do, what do you think about this name, Dark Horse Baits?" And I'm like, "That's a pretty tight name." So years went on, and Max never did it. He does it now, but between
Under dark horse or different name?
No, it's still it's Dark Horse. I stole it from him 100%. He was kind of pissed too. Good reason, but I'm like, dude,
good
we
friend.
got.
For good
I was
reasons.
like, we got this kayak group, and he's like, "Oh, dude, kayaking ain't real fishing, whatever." I'm like, "Dude, we're the Dark Horse division." He's like, "Dude, you stole my name." I'm like, "You didn't make the baits. Like, it's wide open."
Snooze, you
So
lose.
then he starts making the baits, and he's like, "Man." So there's a little bit of conflict of interest there, but.
Yeah,
We
whatever.
throw the baits. The baits are insane. The
We're
fucking
the
A-rigs are
Dark
the
Horse
best.
division. We're
But
the
we are the
horsemen,
Dark Horse division.
Year of the horse.
There you go,
Yeah,
dude.
so it's a bunch of horsemen.
It's just a bunch of dudes that like to vacation.
Yeah,
guys
we
are
go on
cocksmen,
vacation. So-
right?
Yeah,
so-
cocksmiths.
soon as you put all your gear into your truck and then you put it in drive to take off from the house from the driveway, you're instantly on vacation. You're instantly on vacation. So any problems you had, you left that at the
Yep.
house.
So you guys, when you guys do the tournaments, this is more of like almost a fun thing to hang out with the boys.
100%.
oh, definitely,
Right?
Definitely.
It's like
Yep.
we coordinate it. Alden and I generally do the.
So are you
campsite
guys usually
deal.
the group of guys are getting trashed? And
Yes.
Well, everybody.
Well, yeah, it's
not
a-
everybody.
There's been some stories, and
I can't. Have you ever? This is a question. I
Have you
wanted
ever
to
threw
do
up
this,
on a
but I
boat
didn't.
ramp?
I have all this thing, so I'm doing something new. I might cut this out because I don't want to steal it. But I do a Patreon, and the people that sign up for the Patreon are called. I call everyone a dickhead. If I like you, you're a dickhead. I call them nickheads.
if you like them,
Yeah, you're
Dickheads.
fucking dickheads. You know
That
so
means they
I,
like Nick.
I call the people on the Patreon nickheads. So I'm gonna do a new thing called 9 questions with Nickhead. Me.
okay.
And I ask you 9 questions, but they're not fishing related questions. Be like, when's the last time you shit your pants? When's the
Damn.
last time, like funny?
dude, this.
When's the last time you thrown up from drinking?
We should do
When's
this
the
right
last
now.
time, But I want to film it like for reels. So that's something
Yeah.
more, something more to put up.
Yeah,
So I figure, hey, we'll do this. I do all the guests, but I had all my labs, like everything. I had everything in
Yeah.
that fucking box. I forgot.
Check this out. I gotta tell you the story. So
God.
This
Why
is
you
shit.
laughing,
Okay,
Ho? You
okay.
think
So this
something's
is
about
shit your
you?
pants story.
there's 2 stories I want to share.
Yes, I
with
can't
you.
wait.
So
God.
I love it when your friends go.
Mike got
This-
all the stories.
this tournament at Clear Lake was when me, Alden, and Greg were camping in the parking lot. So we're like, oh, we gotta go split up. Clear Lake's huge, dude. You can't cover it in a kayak. You gotta launch like 5 times a day. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go to Robin. Greg's like, what's Robin? I'm like, dude, my grandparents used to live there. I love that place. So I go to Robin. Greg, for some reason, had a bad burger.
Hey, can we talk about the Canocti restaurant?
Oh, okay, we'll talk about it. We all had burgers at Canocti restaurant.
What is that?
It's like a casino.
I'm scared. That
Don't
Clear
eat
Lake,
there.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. It was a little sketchy.
Dude, it's like The Walking Dead on the east side.
No. That wasn't the issue. I'm dark. My wife's white. We were hungry. We left Paul Bailey's. We found a bar with like a pizza place, and I pull up and I see like 6 long-haired white sons of around. I'm like, we're not stopping here, dude. Let's go. I'm like, why?
on.
She's like, you're gonna see a white lady walking with this fucking Mexican. What do you think they're gonna think? Hey,
No
boy, what?
way.
You know, I'm like, I'm fucking.
Or,
outta
hey,
here, bro.
boy, where you
Yeah,
from?
exactly. I'm like, nah, I don't know where we're at. I don't fucking trust it. You know.
There's
like,
hella Mexicans there.
well, not where we pulled up. I was
Well,
like,
I know
shit.
they were working.
Senses went off.
But so you went to this place to eat, casino place,
Right,
shitty
so we all
hamburger.
ate there,
You
we
didn't
all
like
had-
the hamburger.
No, it was good at
that
the
was
time
great
because we were
hamburger.
starving.
You know, but
So the
you
next-
put a burger with like 15 beers.
He's hating this story. I can see it already. He's like, don't
He
tell
doesn't
the
want to
fucking
say
story.
it. Do you not want to say it?
You
Greg?
can say it.
Greg
All right,
got
I'm gonna tell the
extra cheese.
Yeah.
can say
So
it, man.
we eat the burgers. We go to bed, drink a bunch of beers, go to bed, and we're
Sierra
launched-
Nevadas, right?
Yeah, of course. That mixed with Coors Lights. I'm a Coors Light mixer. So we go to Rodman in the morning. I'm like, oh, I fish Rodman, and I know that place fairly well. So I'm in the. I'm like, all right, it's not what I'm looking for. I'm leaving. I get my boat, get in my car. I'm like, the hell is that smell? I'm like, that smells fucking bad. And I'm like, dude, it smells like something's fucking dead in my car. And I just bought this Toyota Tundra. Like on the way there, my truck broke
Hold
down.
on, hold
Bought
on.
a truck.
You said you opened your door and it was outside,
No,
but
it was
inside it smelled?
Yes. You haven't heard
Wow.
the story?
No.
I'm fixing to enlighten you.
Yeah, I'm loving it. Keep it going.
So I'm driving down the road.
Look at, I'm gonna screenshot that face. And
we got like an hour left of pre-fish shoot. I'm like, dude, I'm driving down the road, going like 80 in the Toyota. I'm like, I'm gonna
because you, and to let people know, you can launch from different ramps.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, because you said that before, I think too.
Yep. Open launch.
Autumn would have killed me if I got a speeding ticket. And I'm like, whoop, 90 down the freeway. I'm like, what the fuck is in my car, dude? It smells so fucking bad. And I fucking pull over, dude. I'm like, something's dead in here.
Yeah.
And I pull over. I'm like, what the fuck is on my foot? And I'm wearing like some Sanuk, like shoe things. And there's shit all over my foot. And I'm like, oh, dude, I stepped in fucking dog shit. So I'm like smacking it on the bed of the truck, hitting it on the tire. I'm like, this is bullshit. My truck's fucking ruined. Just got it 2 hours ago.
'Cause you
Now
got shit on your
And
foot.
now it smells like a hobo's dick cheese. And I'm fucking rolling down the road. So I get there, and Greg calls, and we see each other down the road. I'm like, dude, I don't know what the fuck I stepped in back there on the ramp. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, dude, I stepped in some hobo shit or some shit at the ramp. He's like, dude, I couldn't hold it. I had to shit on the ramp. It was dark. I couldn't see where I was. I shit on the ramp. I stepped in Greg's shit. And it was in my fucking truck.
Did you laugh when you heard?
He thought it was funny. My truck smelled like death.
Dude, I can't remember what my reaction was. We didn't really know each other that good at the time.
I had his shit
Nice
in
to
my
meet
truck.
Did you laugh?
I could have sold
Did
it on
make you
YouTube
laugh?
probably or something.
When you stepped in it, did you semi-slide? Did you slid?
No, I didn't even
You
feel
slid
it.
on his shit.
So it was like a fresh
Korean shit's
it was
different.
it was a fresh patch and then went around your
Yeah,
shoe.
it
Hey.
molded up the side
It
like
molded-
a
yeah.
Yep. It was like a new
Wow.
new shoe.
Let me say this. If you're a fisherman, whatever, kayak, boat, you need to get creative with how you do the number
Yeah.
two.
You have to use your
Oh,
socks.
yeah. Oh, for sure. A lot of guys
I
might come in
mean-
with tube socks and come back off the water with ankle socks.
Dude, I came in off the water with a half a vert shirt. Christian Hosoi over here, full sleeve over here.
Yeah, long
Because you had to
sleeve.
wipe your ass.
Because I was like,
Long
I don't
sleeve
want
to
to
a
waste
tank
my
top.
socks. I'm going to cut my shirt off.
So,
that was a dumb
so
move.
that was the second time we hung out. And
It's
luckily,
just best to bring
Wait,
a
this is
towel
the
or
second
something.
time you hung out and you
yeah.
stepped in his shit?
I was like, I stepped in
You
this
knew
dude's
that's a
shit.
friend for life on that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
you
was
would
like,
think.
man,
That's
I love
friends-
this guy,
yeah,
guys.
Yeah.
That's a lot of love right
So
there.
then here's another story. We're at New Maloney's. And then this was like, we have a relationship with Sierra Nevada. Our boy Terrence came, brought like the whole Sierra Nevada truck
Shout out to
tent.
Terrence.
We shot like a badass video. So we had a bunch of beers. A lot of beers. Like in the campsite. All those years, yeah, Dark Horse.
well,
woo,
there
you
was some
gonna
other
win.
there was some other stuff too.
It was a fucking full on shit show,
Throw
dude.
some tequila around there.
Fucking
Oh,
shit show.
God, dude. I don't even want it getting a headache right now.
I think it was Obedie's like maybe third tournament.
Yeah. But
And
my
he was
first
crushing
camping
hella
one,
heavy.
'cause
He's like,
you-
I gotta keep up with Ensign. This is
Yeah,
it.
that's
I'm gonna
it.
keep up. He's like, yes, yes.
Can we,
He's like,
can we say
"Yeah,
this? Mike's a competitive drinker.
dude? I'm good.
I didn't know
You gotta be
neither.
good at something.
I didn't know that that's what was happening. I just thought I was going with the flow.
Mike, he likes to show us that he can drink more than all of us. He does.
Dude,
we,
I'm
we
old.
frequently,
I'm fat.
If I wasn't,
That's all I got.
if we didn't have all these podcasts lined up, that's what I told myself today. I'm like, okay, you got to pace
Keep it
yourself
together.
because this is what happens. What happened last time? We were doing a podcast, me, Danny, and Jack and Tommy. I got up in the middle and went home. Caesar's like, we gotta go. I'm like, really? He's like, we gotta go, dude. I'm like, all right. I just left, and they kept podcasting. I never put it out because I was so fucked up.
Yeah.
Because I came here to fish, and it was blown out with Danny. So Danny's like, fuck it. What are we gonna do? I'm like, I don't know. So I came here and I had
Crush
some
beers.
podcast set up. I'm like, let's go to the store. He's like, it's fucking 10:30. I'm like, yeah, who cares? Get a fucking my 232s of High Life's my go-to at the beginning.
Yeah.
Then I told him, go back, get me an 18-pack course. Finish that, and then I'm fucked already. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm done.
I will tell you this: we've grown up since then.
Well, you still do
really.
the wizard staff.
I am the best wizard staff.
He is the best with
How old are you, Mike?
I'm 47 or 8. I don't know.
You know what the,
47.
you know what the wizard
dude.
staff is?
Thanks, I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
You know,
you
what
don't,
the,
Mike.
you know what a wizard
Thanks.
staff
You
is,
don't
right?
No, I don't.
Thank you,
What is
brother.
it?
All right, so every
course
so often when we do the wizard staff, it's
it's
essentially
ridiculous.
after you finish a can of beer, you
tape
have
it.
to tape it onto the next one. So you end up getting a staff of beer.
Whoa, this is a new
Yeah.
game I like.
Oh,
it's
it's like
awesome.
sick.
This
man.
is a game you're gonna be
How
hella
tall?
good at.
How tall is your wizard staff?
God.
Oh my goodness.
How many beers?
gracious.
Well, he gets so competitive, he'll start.
It's
dragging
like
it
it's
around.
like long as this building with Mike.
Dude, he'll be dragging.
He'll be
it.
dragging it. Yeah, yeah.
Dude, I've teach my kids
I get
my whole life.
I get the,
I don't.
the same
love
thing
it, though.
you get. People go,
You can't quit.
how do you drink so? I'm like, I'm fucking fat. I like drinking beer.
Yeah.
And I drink a lot of them.
Dude, I'm just
You know
like,
what? With Mike though, Mike will drink a lot, and then we'll get out to the water, and he will literally paddle more than anybody on the water.
I feel
he will go around the whole
he's-
lake and
it's
paddle.
become like nutrition for him at this point. Like
is.
his
Yeah.
body's so used
How
to
do you
it.
not
body
piss
like
all the
absorb
time? Oh, I piss
whatever's
all the time.
good
You
out
just
there
piss
beer.
your pants in the fucking
nah,
thing?
dude, you could piss all over the kayak.
Yeah, you can.
That's the good nice part, right?
Oh yeah.
You
You
could shit in the kayak.
Have
can
you
do
done
whatever
that?
you need to do.
Obedie,
You
should we
shit
tell
in the
this
kayak
story?
before?
No, I never shit.
I
in
got
the
a story.
kayak,
Ready?
but-
Hear it?
Yeah.
Since we told the Greg shitting story, I'll tell mine. Same thing. Robin slew. It might have been the same damn weekend. I don't think so. Anyways, Obie's in this. We're at the end of Robin. Robin dead ends in like a rice field.
Oh yeah. That's
And I'm like,
right.
I didn't know he was in there. I thought I was there by myself. And I'm like, oh my God, my stomach. I got
Oh, it's
shit.
because he caught you?
This
is the best ever.
This is the
dude.
worst. I'm like, dude, I got shit so bad. And I'm in a different kind of kayak that I normally fish in. It has like a volcano where you put the drive in. I'm like, that looks like a fucking toilet. I'm going to shit in this thing. Because we're on banks that are this steep. You can't get out. It's all blackberries. I'm like, I got to shit in here. So I'm like, drop trowel. And I'm like, sitting on this thing. I'm like, oh my God, luckily no one's in here. Oh, fuck. And I'm like, Obedie. He's like, Mike, what's up, Big Mike? I'm like, oh, don't look back here. He's like, what you doing? I'm like,
Smokey.
yeah.
Is that you?
Exactly what it was.
He said,
And I'm like, don't look back here. He's like, what you doing? I'm like, dude, I'm trying to take a shit. He's like, you're shitting in the water. I'm like, I gotta get it out of me, dude. I'm on the kayak. The fucking banks are 10-foot vert with blackberries. I can't get
And
out.
I never saw it. It's like, what the hell? Because I'm looking from a distance, like, what the hell is happening? Like, what is he
you see
doing?
his face all red.
He's like turned around from the kayak is the opposite way. He's
Yeah.
squatting, he's shifting, he's moving, he's wiggling like this. His hands is in the air. And I'm like, I don't even know what I'm looking at right now. But I gotta say, Mike, what's happening over there, baby? You okay?
I'm like, just turn around quick, immediately. So everything, it was
Get
fun.
out of here! Get out of here! Oh.
He's like, I'm trying to fish this. I'm like, no, right now.
And here go the funny part. He was sitting on the juice. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's where all the fish are.
Did you get to see the piece of shit floating in the water?
No, this is the
No.
worst part.
Oh,
This is
that
where it
would've
gets
been
bad. The night before, we had a bunch of beers and a bunch of shitty.
This is what
food.
happens when you drink all the
Yeah,
fucking
exactly.
Beer
So-
and pizza at night don't be going
No,
well
hell
either.
no.
That's what it be too.
So I'm like, I shit in this fucking thing. I'm like, dude, I get up. I'm like, it's contained. This is badass. It's like a fucking toilet they didn't even know native made.
So you start shitting in there all the time.
No, this is where it ends. I stand up, push the hull down, boom, tornado of shit in the bottom of the boat. And I'm like, oh, it looked like a volcano, and now it's actually a fucking volcano of shit. And it's all over my feet. I'm barefooted. I'm like, oh, this ain't fucking good. And I'm like, what do I
Did
do?
you see this all happen?
no, I turned
left.
around.
Oh, I would have been
What?
there with like this.
Once I saw that, I turned around. Hey, and you did good that tournament too.
Yep.
You
I
did good that tournament.
You can't
I
let the
remember.
shit drag you down.
You can't let nothing drag you down. You got.
Have you guys
stay
gotten so
positive.
fucked up where you had to throw up and hung over fishing? Like, this is not
I've never thrown up
Well,
in
that's
my
my
life.
story. So this is the first time they always.
This
you
is
gotta,
the best. This
you
is
gotta
where it
camp
goes.
out.
See
Oh,
where
you
it
gotta
goes?
camp out. So I'm like,
You were never camping out. You just show up that morning.
Yeah, I
like,
show up that morning.
"Oh,
Because they
they
were
even
like, we're
fish
sleeping in the
lakes."
truck. We're sleeping in the truck. I'm like, sleeping. And this time I had little truck. I'm 6'1". I mean, like a cocoon sitting in the truck. I said, I can't sleep in no truck. Oh, that's what we all do. So I'm like, all right, I'll come out there and sleep in truck. So I get out there. Now we partying and we drinking. I'm like, man, this is the shit. This is every tournament we do this. Like, okay.
This is the best.
It's 10 o'clock. We partying. It's 11 o'clock. I brought the music, so we jamming. It's midnight. It's 1 in the morning.
Dominoes.
It's 2 in the morning.
Jenga.
It's 3 in the morning. It's
Were you
3
here too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
You
now,
guys were all up
The dark
fucking
horse.
partying.
Yeah. The dark horse
now-
campouts
yeah.
is like
so
this
now
every
people
time.
are asleep like, shut the fuck up. Go to sleep. We got to fish in the morning. And then we're like, fuck
And then we
you.
second that way.
We kicking
Fuck
it.
you, we're
So
gonna
I'm
win.
sitting there like, damn. I said, we out of it. This how we do it. So I'm like, man, I'm killing. I'm chilling. So it get like between 3 or 4 in the morning. And then Mike was like, yeah, it's probably best we go to sleep. We got to get up in like 30, 45 minutes to go fishing.
God,
30
minutes?
fucking minutes.
So I'm
dude.
sitting there like, all right, cool, man. We had a good time, man. I see y'all on the water. As soon as I get to my truck, I sit in the passenger seat.
Start spinning.
Oh, the spin. I said, oh, it's over. I overdid it. I'm through with money. Instantly, I start throwing up blah, blah, outside the truck. Oh
my God.
So then I fall asleep. Just go to sleep. Oh, we're going to get up in the morning. You're going to be back.
This is back when it was a blast-off launch. So 100 dudes, 140 dudes, all launch from one ramp. It's a shit show.
shotgun.
It's
Yeah.
hella fucking cool to see, and being it, you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is
But
dope.
it sucks to. Yeah, I get.
So I end up, so I wake up. It's like as soon as I close my eyes, it was time to get up. And I said, oh my goodness, right now? So then I'm like, oh, I feel like shit. So I go to the bathroom. I'm sitting there taking a shit for like the longest.
This has become a
I hear
shit
it's knocking on the door.
podcast.
Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, yeah.
You still in there? I'm like, man, go away. Like I'm sweating. I'm food. Now this is like my first, like this is like my 4th tournament, 5th tournament. So now I come
Is this
out.
after you won?
Yeah.
Okay.
So now I get
He
there.
thought it was easy after that. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
beat
he's
all
like-
these. He's like, I'm a boater, beat all these kayaks, just fucking donating money.
Right?
Now we
I
got
roll
his
out,
ass.
I sitting out there, and now everybody's like, "Oh, Obedie, man, how you doing?" Like I can't even talk. I'm throwing up on the side, the kayak. Like, oh my goodness. So not knowing, my spot was on the other side of the lake. So I'm like, they were like, I got to get to the other side of the lake. So now I'm pedaling.
And you
to the
got
other
to
side.
pedal.
Yes,
Oh,
this is
fuck.
This
before
is way
boat.
before
So
we
now I'm
started using
pedaling.
motors.
I'm drenching with sweat, throwing up on the side. Blah, blah, like, oh my god. I finally get to the spot. The fish are busting. I'm like, there they go. I throw the A-rig out there, and I start reeling. I'm like, I can't even reel. I sat down, and I had to reel it like this. Oh, and I was like, oh,
You're
Grandpa,
making me feel bad right now.
So I get it up. So now I'm like,
This
oh,
is, it's not done yet.
I
This
said,
is the
oh,
best.
just relax. Just relax. Take like 20 minutes, and then you'll be back. So I close my eyes. Now the boat is rocking like this. And I'm like, this ain't helping. This making it worse. So I look to the side to the left of me. There was a ramp, the launch ramp. So I'm like, oh, let's just go to the launch ramp. So I get to the launch ramp. This is a true story. I go up to the launch ramp. I get there, and I say, okay, set your alarm for an hour. Let's just sleep for an hour, and then we'll get up and win the
On
tournament.
the fucking launch ramp.
So I put the boat there, I lay down, and I'm like, oh my God, what is that smell? It's just killing my stomach. I'm like, oh my God, I throw up somewhere. Oh. And I'm looking around like, what is it? It was an open box of old chicken liver. And I'm like, oh. So I'm on the chicken liver sitting there, like, but I couldn't stand up. So I had to roll. I rolled like 4 times to the middle of the ramp. Now I'm over to the side, and I was like, oh my God. And I saw that I fall asleep. I wake up, the alarm go, boo, boo, boo. I get up, I
This
stand
is a
up,
boat
and I
ramp,
was like,
dude.
let's go win it, oh. And I was like, can't do it. We need 1 more hour. Set the alarm, go back to sleep for another hour. Now I hear somebody taking pictures of me.
Oh,
And I'm like, is that somebody taking pictures of me? So then I look up, and then he put the phone down. Ben put the phone down. He go, hey, Obedie, you all right? And I'm like, I just met you last night. And
Who was this?
Some dude named Ben.
the guy named Ben took pictures of me. I said, all right, whatever. I go back to sleep. The next hour, get up. So the
This
next
is for
hour,
real.
I'm laying down. The alarm go off. I just turn it off. I said, I can't even move right
You're
now.
done. You don't even
He
wanna
calls
talk.
the tournament
Next you
director
know,
to pick him up.
The guys, they start now. The sun is up. The skiers is getting on the water, and then some lady's like, "You think we should wake him up? You think he's okay?" So then I hear him like
They think
talking.
you're
I
a
look.
fucking
It's like
bum sleeping.
it's like
fucking
10
hobo.
boats. It's like a line of boats, and everybody's looking
He's
at
in
me.
the middle of the launch ramp, dude.
I said, oh my God, I got to get out of here. I said, let's go fishing, Obedie. I stood up. I said, yeah, it's over for me. Called the director. Called Mike and I said, hey man, come pick me up. It's over for your boy. I overdid
They
it.
drove around the lake to pick his ass
Drove
up.
her, came pick me up, loaded my kayak, all my stuff, drove me back to my truck, and then I was like, I'll just wait here until everybody get off the water. I know everybody gonna get laughs out of this, but hey, I had a good time. That's just what it is. And I sat there for an hour, and I said, I gotta go home. I gotta go see my wife.
How far was the drive home?
A little over an hour.
Oh, thank God it's
Yeah,
not that far.
not that far. So I get home, tell the wife, I said, I just gotta lay down. So I lay down, I go to sleep. I wake up like 10 o'clock that night. I was like, whew. Oh my God, that was a rough one right there, man. Jeez, that was a rough one. So then I grab my phone and then I go to Facebook and then I see a picture of me laying on the ramp with like over 100 comments of Obedie's the man. He just kicked it into that.
Yeah.
He threw out, and I'm like, what the hell is happening?
Looks like the dark horse went too hard last
They
night. all
went
this
too
shit.
hard. It's like, we told you to go to sleep. You didn't go to sleep. And I just laughed like, that was fun times. Like, that's something I will always remember. I overdid it, but I had a good time. And it was like with my family, you know? And,
It was dope.
and what was so cool about it was the kayak circle is like a big family. So it was just a lot of good times and laughter. And then
What
after
a
that.
fucking story, dude.
Yeah. The picture.
You guys like, what the fuck?
I rode by and I was like, where the fuck's O?
Hey, it's
We don't-
happened before. It's gonna happen again.
We don't do that shit no more now. Me and
Well,
Greg,
actually, it happened the other week, but
not for me.
Kind of happened.
Kind of
happened.
happened.
toned
with
it
all
down.
the
I'm like-
But
over-
yeah, how old are you, Greg?
33.
You're a baby still. You can do
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm old.
Yeah, but
It
the
is-
recovery for me takes a long time, like days.
But
Oh,
never-
now I
You
know.
know, yeah.
Ever since that day, I know to cut it off. Soon as I be like, nah, time
As soon
to
as you
cut
start having fun, you go, no more.
Yep.
time to cut it off. Oh, for you
tough.
overdo it.
The
It's
last
tough.
couple
It's
years,
tough.
Greg and I were like, all right, getting ready, rig up. All right, what do we call it? The something goodbye.
Irish goodbye.
Yeah, the Irish goodbye. And we're like, sweet, 4 or 5 beers, cool. Wake up, we're good. I don't do that shit no more. First year, though, a couple years, it was like fun. It was like, everyone's together. It's like a party. You're not with your family. It's, you know how it is, dude.
Yeah.
Dude,
I mean,
Yeah.
like
I did last night.
dude.
Vacation.
If
Straight
you
vacation.
like think about it, like if we're at like Clear Lake, we're at Clear Lake. It's August. The fishing's great. What are we all gonna go tuck in at 9 o'clock?
Good night. I'm going to bed.
Nope. And now
But
that
I'm
all
sure
they got
there's
that,
dudes that do that.
They do.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
you know,
90% of the
yeah,
field.
Yeah,
And-
the librarian.
I'm serious.
Yeah, and like no disrespect to them. Like
No,
not at all.
it's all good.
But I
Different
feel like
folks.
that's having that mentality. There's two different mentalities in fishing, and where you guys are going to catch fish and do your best, but you want to have fun.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And there's dudes that I don't want to have fun. I want to make sure I fucking win. And
It's
those are those
vacation,
guys.
dude.
Yeah, but to me, it's like you missing out because unless you trying to go pro, we're gonna be doing this hopefully, God willing, till we 100 years old.
Right.
Yep.
And I tell you, I fished a lot of tournaments, and the one thing you don't hear guys talk about is, you know, I won like 7 times last year, and nobody talk about the wins and how we talk about. Remember when
The
you threw
parties,
up?
the time.
Remember you had the shit in the back? Remember when you failed?
Remember when you
what-
stepped in a grown man's shit?
Down the stories that always keep coming back year after year after year. We make us laugh. We have a good time. Like, I feel like the guys who aren't having a good time is missing out on something super big in this sport, because it ain't like we do all this stuff and then we go out there and we ain't fishing hard and all that.
Yeah.
Like, we fish real hard. We want to win. You know, all of us. We compete against each other. But at the same time, we know just as hard as we fish, we going to kick it just as hard, too.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it's
and
about.
that's what it's about.
It's about relationships and memories.
Yep. The memories.
I feel like that's a good message as well. I feel like there's a lot of people that take stuff a little too seriously.
serious.
Way too
And
serious.
I mean, it's like a different outlook for you guys, especially even with the kayak. Who knows how it is everywhere else? I'm sure it gets super competitive like anything else.
It's pretty fun.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is.
Like I'm sure that the boat tournaments are way different than the kayak.
Oh my goodness, and that's what opened my eyes when I got over there. I was like, goodness, like these guys are more laid back. You know, everybody's having a good time, but the competition is still there, and everybody still wants to win, but everybody's willing to chop it up. I think what it is with the boats, you go to, say we go to Clear Lake, right? Everybody is staying at an Airbnb, a hotel. They're away. You charge your boat up, you go to your room. You might got 1, 2 guys y'all kick it with. You go to dinner, and that's that. The kayak, we're at the campsite.
Everyone's
So
there.
we're all are there.
Yeah.
So when you walk around the campsite, you're seeing everybody. You're talking to everybody. You're cracking jokes. You might pull up a chair at their fire pit for 30 minutes. You might be over here for an hour. Such and such is cooking over there, and you over there.
Yeah.
And I think that there makes it where everyone gets to have you get to have more of a good time. You get to meet more people, and it's more. I think that's where that laid back come in. 'Cause I said when I go do a boat tournament, me and my buddy, we're both fishing. We both sharing a room. I'm in a room watching TV, kicking back. Like I'm not talking to most people and hanging out like that. You know,
Yeah.
it's different. And then a lot of guys on the boat, they do take it a lot more serious. You
Yeah.
know, and it is way more.
We take it fucking serious though once we're on the water.
Yeah, but off the water, you know,
It's chop it up, have fun.
Is there like some dudes that are like full pro kayak guys in California?
In California, man, I don't know about that. It's, I mean, we so
don't think it's
considered
there
full
yet.
pro. That's all they do is just
Yeah.
fish tournaments.
No, it's not there yet.
I don't think so.
I don't-
There's
I-
a few back east. It's not there yet.
Yeah,
though.
I was talking to
Who's
a
that?
buddy like
there's
that.
a there's a really big back east. What's his? I think he's an IROD guy.
Russ.
Yes.
Russ,
Yeah.
Snyder.
He's
Shout out to
the
my
shit,
guy
right?
Russ Snyder, man.
That
He's
dude's
good, right?
Yeah,
He's like the guy.
He was
Yeah.
a Delta guy, so he was out
Oh,
here.
really?
Yeah,
Then
yep,
he moved
yep.
over there.
Rippin'
Oh.
lips. My guy Russ Snyder. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard
Yep.
he's a stick, man. I
It's
heard
not.
he's a-
It's not there yet though. Like as
No.
far as like a pro kayak.
You think it will be?
Oh yeah.
I
Dude,
think it
I don't
will.
think it.
You don't think so?
I have negative thoughts about it.
Why
I
so?
think because I think kayak fishing is like the stepchild of fucking boat fishing. Like they take kayak fishermen's money to supplement the boat tournaments. I just don't. And I could be
What's the
100.
payouts like on the kayak tournament?
Some of them are good.
Well, that's the funny thing. It's
Yeah.
actually pretty comparable to a
Yeah,
lot of the
boat.
boat circuits.
Yep.
Really?
It's-
I think
yeah.
if you calculate all the expenses, you know, because in a boat tournament, once I have to pay the gas for the truck, the gas for the boat, the oil, towing it up there, I got to store it, you know, all of that, and you got to pay a lot of money. You got to do fairly well. If you fall in the middle and you still get a check, you be in a boat, you be like, shit, I just got my money back, and you be cool with that. But then when I was getting a kayak, like, oh, it's $30, $50, $100, no gas, no oil, and I won $700-800. Like, good.
You're looking good.
Yeah,
Going
exactly.
Back, Going
Yeah.
back to that though, I think that I'm gonna talk shit, but I think they just it's kind of like took it for granted. Like, oh, kayakers they're in plastic boats. Granted, we are in plastic boats, but I think like they think we're stupid at some point because they try to pull all this bullshit
I don't
shenanigans with
think
us
as
all the
much.
time.
Well, maybe during the tournament, you think like
I
the
think-
tournament.
I think some
Because
of
I
the
feel like the
tournaments are
kayak
shady.
tournament is kayaks have came to a next level, especially like in SoCal. At least I see a lot of big tournaments starting to happen. But like, do you think? You mean the tournament series more like try to jerk you around a little more?
I think the bigger tournament
Okay.
series, my personal, this is just my sole opinion. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
the
I
club
can-
tournaments, like,
I can agree with
that's
that.
what it
'cause-
is. And then the bigger tournaments, like, oh, we can get some money on this. We don't have to, treat them within. You're paying money regardless. You should
Yeah,
get respected, regardless if you're fishing out of a fucking
And
float tube.
I
or
think
anything.
it's still not there though, because you got out here, especially you got all these boat guys, $100,000 boats, big boat, and then when they see the kayaks, it kind of like you
It's
guys
a
are in the
joke.
way,
Yep.
and it's funny for me because I'll see these
Could be
guys,
both, yeah.
like even today we're fishing, and then the guy's like looking at me like I'm in his way, and he's like, "What is there a kayak tournament going on today?" Like. No, we just out here fishing. I can't just, like I wouldn't look at 2-3 boats by there and be like, goodness gracious, is there a boat tournament around here? What's going on around here? It's like always the vice versa. Or a guy putting a boat in this tournament, he pull up to that spot and there's 2 kayakers there. I'm going to say a lot of the most times he's looking at him like, come on, man. Get up. Let
me get in there.
Let
Yeah,
me get
yeah,
up
yeah.
in here, man. And I'm like, no, I'm doing the same thing you
Yeah,
doing,
yeah.
And it
There's
ain't
definitely a respect.
gap.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We've all seen it, and like, it's just, it is what
Yeah,
it is. I don't think
I
it'll ever
think
change.
I
I try to
agree.
run Greg over.
Dude,
you really almost got ran over.
huh?
You almost got ran over. But
Oh, Jesus.
Everyone hates Craig.
Well,
That's Greg Blanchard right there.
you
Woo,
get
woo,
shit
woo.
because
He
he
ruined the Delta.
no.
No,
No, not
you
really.
ruined the Delta.
You blew up all my secret spots.
That's so secret spots is like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
Dude,
Every
welcome
spot
to
is a
2000
secret
and
spot.
whatever it is.
I don't
Yeah.
put
That shit
like
don't
it's like,
exist.
dude, Danny was talking about today. He's going, him and his dad were fishing. So he learned this when he was little. He's like, Dad, there's just those guys on the spot. He goes, are they throwing what you're throwing? are they doing what you're doing? He's like, I don't know. He's like, exactly. How do you know?
Yep,
They could have thrown
exactly.
something way different. And I'm like, I get that. And I get if it's like the spot burning thing is stupid. I don't back it at all. I mean,
Delta
I
is
think it's
touchy.
like-
Delta is
and
touchy.
I know the
like
Delta's-
that. Yeah,
It has
the dudes
been.
are
it's
very touchy.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Because if an area turn on and you post that area, you might get a text like, "Can you take that down? Because I got a tournament this weekend and blah 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 and this and that." But one
tournament
thing is,
fishing
the
is what
game
it
has
is.
changed, and that's just what it is now. The game.
But
has
this is
changed.
another thing I go, well, and I've talked to this to multiple people. I go, what makes, someone doing a YouTube video not as worthy as someone fishing a tournament? And I can go, look, that tournament guy is going to win. What is he going to do for your company, or what is he going to do for the product when a YouTube influencer could do way more?
Right.
I think
Then
there's
what,
I think there's a balance. I've actually kind of learned it over the years, just being in the YouTube game, as far as like spots and
And there's a way to take pictures, right? To like not.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I've made some mistakes, but unknowingly, I didn't do anything out of like malintent to like try to fuck someone, or a spot. And now, nowadays it's different. But yeah, I mean, it depends on what your motives are for your videos and your content. And I mean, if me and El went fishing and he showed me like the juice, like we just went smoking fish. Clearly, I'm not going to be like showing.
Hey,
that.
All right.
Yeah, like there would at
Go
least
on down
be-
to Big Break.
or
It's the second
there'd be
132
there'd
buoy.
be some subtleties to
Yeah,
it.
definitely.
We're not
We
going to
can
be
make it-
showing where we launched, all that stuff. And
Right.
again, it's not to like keep people from the fish, but it's like to respect
Exactly.
respect not only but anyone else that's fishing that area. And
Right.
again, it's kind of a weird thing because if you think about the people that watch your videos, the percentage of people that you're like quote unquote fucking like with their spot, it's like 0.001%.
It's a big difference. I feel
Like,
from
it's-
tournament
it's
fisherman
not
from
many
a regular
people.
fisherman.
You go to a certain spot, a lake, whatever. It's literally, for like me at least, like the viewers that actually get offended by it, it's so small, and I'll maybe hear it every so often. I rarely do, and it's really just because how I make the video nowadays. But there is a fine line. You have to play it right. You can't just be like
Oh, well, like even talking to the dudes, I mean, Milliken and them, they kind of blew that lake up with HIV.
yeah. So there's certain
And they got kind of like
Yep.
people fucking
And again,
hating
like
on that.
again with Milliken, okay, say that was someone with like a smaller following. Nobody's gonna give a shit. But Milliken, because he has a giant following, just play the numbers, play the odds, play the mathematics. If you have 100,000 people watching your videos and only 1% are pissed, that's 1,000 people. That's a lot of people mad at you. So
right, I guess you're right, yeah.
yeah, and so it goes down to also how many people you reach and how many potential people you can piss off too. So with him, it obviously was
Yeah, I mean,
tricky.
and Josh Jones said the same thing. He's like, yeah, a lot of people got mad and like they were pulling out those double digits. But I'm like, it's like anywhere else, dude. Like only Castaic was like the double digit lake for a long time.
Yep.
It's like here's the new one.
Yeah.
And you get the Delta's a completely different story.
I personally don't differentiate between like kayak fishing, boat fishermen, and lake or bank fishermen. All the time, like I'll be fishing a tournament. I'm like, why am I more important than the dude that's got 17 lines out trying to catch stripers for his family? I'm not. So you got to put yourself into that realization. Like everyone's here to fish. You don't have any seniority over anyone else. It is what it is.
Right.
We're all here because we like fishing. Granted, you like fishing a minnow and a bobber. I like fishing a Cinco.
You know what? I think the reason I like hanging out with like Mike and O and Aldi and all the guys is because it's like we don't take ourselves like too seriously. Like we love fishing and yeah, we're competitive, but at the same time, it's not like we're not like trying to like I don't know what the word is. Like we're not like shisty. You know what I mean?
You're not trying to ego boost yourself as well either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is like something that is happening a lot nowadays.
And people like to overlook that you got to have a group of guys that's trying to get the next generation of people to come fish.
Yeah, you can't be a dick.
A couple years ago, if you said you were fishing, they looked at you like you were a loser. It was funny. Oh, you fish? Who fish?
That was my whole life.
Yeah, and so
Or you talk to old dudes. It'd be
so
like
for
the
us
only people.
for people to put videos out to get new beginners out there, like a tournament guy isn't bringing the new guys out into fishing. No, it takes the Gregs. It takes the people who make them videos to be because one thing I was talking to Mark Daniels about, he was telling me it's like when the fishing shows, there's more regular people who really hardly fish watch them than tournament fishermen.
Oh, yeah.
The tournament fishermen guys are the ones like, hold on now. Well, that wasn't right. He did this, he did that, and that's not that. You know,
That splashed way too hard. In the
right. It's those guys. But there's so many. The bulk of them are just people like, man, I'm just trying to get into fishing, and you helped me out a lot. I was sitting around, and I should have been going, and I watched your video, and I went. And that keeps
what
the
helps.
sport going.
I see that. Like even like my son, he'll watch a basketball video, then he'll want to go play basketball. It's like
It's
you watch a fishing
contagious,
video,
dude.
you fucking gonna want
I
to.
watch
You're gonna
skateboard
wanna go
videos.
fishing.
I'm like,
Yep. You're
yeah,
gonna wanna
I'm
go
not
fishing.
230 pounds.
gonna be
I can
like,
go
you're not-
skateboarding.
Yeah.
Nope,
I'm like,
you
hey,
are
dude,
fat ass.
I
You're gonna
seen
fall
that
and get
float
hurt.
and fly, that fucking Simmental. It's gotta work. It's gotta work.
It's
I
gonna
know
work.
You
It's
know, it
just-
doesn't fucking work at all.
I'm knee deep in the tournament scene, and a lot. I remember when Greg was just getting it going. Guys like, yeah, he's posting all these spots, and that's Greg Blanchard posting the spot. And now here, like, oh yeah, you saw Greg last week post. Like they watch, like they're
Yeah,
fans.
yeah.
There's
I
a
think-
crossover
Yeah,
effect
like
now.
you're really a fan. You know what I'm saying? Just come out and say you're a fan
Yeah.
of the show. 'Cause
It's crazy,
He
dude,
puts
how
in the
many-
work. He puts in the work. He puts a good show out, and it is entertaining. And you gonna? I said, man, I tell him all the time. He was like, I said, how'd you do the other? Oh, I didn't even catch a fish. I'm like, how the hell you make a video and I watched the whole thing and you like caught one little fish like this big and I was loving the whole show. I said, man, that's a skill, and you need guys like that. And I feel like even myself to bring it and then showing the other guys like, look, it's competitive, but you can have fun. It's a lot of fun in here, but it's a lot of competition.
Yeah.
And there's so many different guys you can learn from. Don't look at one guy, look at the Boca guy. This guy here does a swimmer. This guy does a punch. This guy does a single. This guy makes you laugh. This guy goes real in deep into it. Like, you take
Well, I think
all of
it's
that.
also letting people know, like, hey, like Bass Report. I'm like, I don't hate, like, dude, they're doing something different than I am, and I like Joel. Like, it's great. I've been on the podcast. You got to remember, there's different platforms, and it's not like you can't like different platforms. It's like you got to be able to have an open
gotta be diverse.
mind and not go, well, fuck this guy. He doesn't, no.
That's just like,
And it's like
music.
anything else, right?
I only like Slayer. Oh wait,
Calm down, Angel Death.
I like some other people.
But we're gonna wrap this up. We started late. This was like a fun. I think one of the funnest podcasts I've done because it's fucking around. These are the ones I love. Get a little drunk, talk.
You already
shit.
know, baby.
Like I said, I'll probably be back up here in probably July, and we'll do something else again.
Yeah, for
Maybe
sure.
and we'll do that whole idea I had.
Yep.
Let's plug everything, Greg. Let's plug away where they can reach you and everything.
Just you can find me on YouTube mainly, Greg Blanchard. That's it. It's got Mike and O on my channel a lot.
Yes, sir.
The shenanigans.
The shenanigans.
Trying to keep it PG.
I'm gonna say you guys had some of the funniest fucking stories I heard ever today. So
You
Mike,
can't find
where
me.
can we reach
You can't really find
Yes,
me.
you can. Come on, Mike's growing his Instagram.
I'm not. Greg
Yes, he
makes
is.
me do it.
What is it?
Mike
It's
got
Mike
a
dot-
big
It's
following.
Mike.ensign. Fishing.
Mike.
There you
dot-
go.
He
It's
makes
so
me do it.
funny.
I don't care.
He
I know,
doesn't
but
care,
it's funny.
The people love him. Like, this guy
they're
is
gonna
so
like you after this.
hilarious. I love this guy, man. I love
You guys
him,
had me
man.
fucking dying, all of you guys. And then Obedie, you have what? Okay, I know Yonder Game's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Explain that really quick.
Yonder Gang is a whole thing.
Yeah, Yonder
Yeah.
Gang is, I made something like fun. Like, when you catch a fish, right, you got 1 pounders, 2 pounders, 3 pounders. Once you go to the 4,
Younder.
now you in the Younders. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, Younders. You send your boy a picture, you qualify for the Yonder Gang. Also, I got the merch on youndergang.com coming soon. Sign up, know all the merch coming through. And I'm the original Rippin Lips. You go on YouTube. I am the originator. So you can follow me on YouTube. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook under Rippin Lips or Obedie Williams. Pull me up. You can even type Younders on the Google and it's gonna pull me up under the dictionary.
On the
Ski?
Google.
Yeah,
On the Google.
Yeah, so man, follow your boy, man. It's a lot of smiles, a lot of positivity. I'm gonna bring down the pipeline, and and come on this journey with us. Of the adventures and the vacations. It don't ever stop.
I gotta say thank you to all you guys. I really appreciate you coming
Thanks for having us
again.
on, man.
Yeah,
Thanks
This
for
was,
fun.
dude. This was like a fun hangout more than a podcast. It's like let's talk shit. Okay.
Twist my rubber arm.
Literal shit.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Hey, I love that you guys made him feel a little uncomfortable, Greg.
Yeah.
It's
I
good
could tell, and
because-
you're like,
Where
and
is
he's like,
balance?
I'm doing it. I got those friends. You know when you get those couple friends, you're
Dude,
like,
Greg is like
Greg is
the
that's my
nicest
brother.
dude ever.
oh no,
It's like
he
always say
shits on
that.
boat ramps.
It's like our younger brother, you know, that you always got to give shit to, you know, because you see all the fans, Greg, we love you, but we keep him down to earth when he start floating around and everything. We bring him right back down. You know, you gotta have guys around in your circle to do that. It's
called grounding.
Yeah, it's never a dull moment with the horses, and you know that's how we roll every time. You see us out there at any tournament, just know we the loudest one at the campsite.
There
baby.
you go.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for coming
how
on.
it is.
Appreciate it.
Eat the D.